Hello, let me just say I don't like either of you.
Well, that's understandable. Well, hello, and happy pre-New Year's Eve. I know that some of our friends down in New Zealand and in Australia, they've already experienced 2022. I hope that 2022 is better than 2021. But yeah, hi. I don't know. I don't think Kevin's coming. I don't think Kevin's coming today. Again, I think this is too early for his old bones to get moving and sort of we're just here to have a little fun, wake up, uh, and not talk about vaping, because we talk about that all the time, all the time. But uh, I saw a movie recently. Lots of people are talking about it on the internet. It's a Netflix film called "Don't Look Up." I think it's what it's called. Yeah, "Don't Look Up." It's got an amazing cast. It has lots of funny bits. And there are a lot of correlations. I mean, obviously, the undercurrent of that film is how so many people ignore science. Some, because it's inconvenient for them, or they don't believe it, or they're just stupid, whatever. So there's a lot of nonsense in this movie that does sort of remind us of what we are dealing with. But I was kind of pissed off at actually parts of it, and this is a purely as an American, because obviously the vast majority of this film makes America look stupid. And I sort of got mad at a couple points. There's like I don't want to spoil the film for you guys, but there's a moment in the film where America has the opportunity to work with people, around the world, as unite as sort of one people, and they make it look like America has no desire to or care for people other than us. And I sort of got pissed off at that, because I know that most of us, uh, we care about other people, not just ourselves. I mean, there is some of that, but anyway, it is indeed a fun movie. There's definitely some just plain old funny bits to the movie. And again, I'm not going to deny the science denial part of the film is very real. But if you got a minute, go watch that movie. You got a couple hours before 2022 comes around. And then there's another one. They did this in they did this last New Year's too. It's called Death to 2021. You can watch that one too. It's kind of funny. It's a fake documentary. That's funny. But so anyway, one of the things that I wanted to do, I found some funny videos, and in some ways they're funny, in some ways they're very frightening. That I wanted to show. If any one of you wants to come in and be fake Kevin, just let me know. I do need a fake Kevin to be on the screen with me. And that way I have somebody to pick on, and somebody to reply to. It's kind of boring just looking at myself. I didn't even shave today. It's just, I'm not used to being off on Fridays, and these last 2 weeks, at least, this is our last vacation day now, until our holiday pay day, until like, I want to say Memorial Day. So we don't get a day off until like May now. So yeah, any one of you guys want to come and I'll make fun of you and you can, participate. I know that James Jarvis, he does tend to cry. He is in the chat room. Speaking of which, I should say hello to people before I go too far here. Let's see. Mallory was here early. Good morning, Mallory and Wendy and Abdul and Peggy, our very good friend Peggy, and Victor, the sponsor of Kevin's Victor share screen. Obviously, Kevin is not here, but and our friend Bruni, who is up at like an ungodly hour or still awake from because he's in Australia and it's like, I don't know, something like 4 a.m. there or something like that. It's a crazy number. I don't know. This computer's driving me crazy, by the way. Just anyway. Oh, it just decided to open. I closed it. All right. So Bruni's crazy. He's like an Iron Man. And Janine is here. Hello, Janine. How are you? Janine, you are welcome to join us as well. I'm still crazy to get you to come on to our show and talk to us, but we're not going to be talking about vaping stuff. So I don't know if you're interested in that or not, but we're going to talk about other things. So anywho, back to what I was. So this week I've been seeing some crazy stuff. This is the end of the holidays season, I guess you would say. Christmas, everybody's supposed to be feeling love for their fellow man, doing good deeds for each other, gift giving season. I hope everybody got what they wanted for Christmas. That's the thing that the reason for the season that most people have adopted. But I actually got some fun stuff. I'll go ahead and show it. I put it on the Facebook. My wife. This is the funny thing is my wife. Hello, Matthew Milby. My wife is a horrible gift giver, so she's like, just buy what you want and tell me how much I owe you. So this is what I got. I got these are some shirts and underwears. You're an old person. You're an old person when you're happy to get new underwear. And I got some shirts and stuff. And then I bought myself, this is the illustrated and annotated War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells. And this is an illustrated version of Dracula, but they actually painted Bela Lugosi Dracula. And then these are some ice cube things that make giant circular spherical ice cubes for your whiskey, and these wonderful Doc Martens. And my wife actually did buy this hairbrush for me, so that was her. That was what she said. I'm tired of your hairbrush. Get a new hairbrush. And I'm like, really? What's wrong with my hairbrush? Anyway, so that's what I got. I hope everybody enjoyed their holiday season though, and at least didn't have two giant blow-ups with your family members, because that's that's what happens when a lot of people get together. Anywho, yes. So anyway, back to the nonsense that is humanity. So this week, I do I sound scratchy? Do I sound like different in the morning? Is that what? Yeah. Anyway, so the nonsense that is humanity. I found some videos of people being inhumane, and I thought, you know what? Let's show some of these inhumane videos. So I'm sure that some of you have seen this one, but I'm going to show it to you. If you haven't, we'll talk about it. We'll pause it. We'll discuss it. But anyway, this is this young lady here is on a plane, and she stops to talk. She's walking. She stops to talk to this gentleman here, who's an older gentleman, because he's not wearing a mask. Now, I'm waiting for somebody to comment on this, but this young lady, as you can see, is not wearing a mask.
Fucking mask on. Who invited you to come drink your ass off?
So he says, I'm eating and I need to take my mask off to eat. She's like, who invited you onto this plane and you're not wearing a mask? This is where we are. This is where we are, people. That a woman without a mask can yell at another man without a mask for not wearing a mask. Well, I mean, this whole thing is about not wearing a fucking mask and where we are in as human beings. I think one of my New Year's resolutions and tonight's show or today's show, it's not tonight. This morning's show is about resolutions. That word means a bunch of different things. Resolute means one thing. Resolve and resolution means things that you promises that you are going to be resolute about. I think this year every human being, every one of us, should resolve to be resolute in making the resolution that we will be better humans, because we're not us. We're all good humans. Humanity itself is not being good humans. So let's continue here.
Don't you dare talk to me like that. God damn it. Stand your ass up.
So this young lady, well, she's not, I mean, I've found out that they've already doxed this young lady. This young lady here used to be I don't know where they were at the time, but a Raiders cheerleader and an actress. She was on Baywatch. Anyway, this younger person, she's not young. She's probably younger than me. And this gentleman here, this white-haired old man, she's challenging him to get up, stand up, like she's going to box this old man. But let's keep going.
Stand your ass up.
Sit down, Karen.
Karen.
Oh, sit down, Karen. I apologize to any woman that is watching the show whose name is Karen. I apologize. I did not misappropriate your name for this insult. But other people have started to use it, and this old man just called her a Karen with authority. Sit down, Karen.
You're a goddamn Karen.
No,
Sit down.
sir.
Sit down, Karen.
Sit down, pussy.
Pussy, no, you're the pussy.
Oh.
She called him a pussy. Really? How disrespectful.
You're the dick.
Do you want the priest to meet you on the ground?
What about him?
Mask up. Now.
Mask up.
Put your mask up.
Mask up.
I'm eating and drinking.
Tell him
You
to
got
mask
your
up.
mask down, bitch.
Sir.
Oh, dear Lord. Tell him to mask up. And you put your mask up, bitch. Seriously, this is the de-evolution of humanity.
Yes, I did.
Oh, that is senior abuse right there. Senior abuse.
Now you're going to jail. That's assault. You're going to jail. As soon as we get in Atlanta, you're going to jail. Bitch. Karen. Hey, spit on me.
All right, now see what the flight attendant is doing here? You see this beverage cart? The beverage cart. He is pushing the beverage cart down the aisle, trying to separate these two. Watch.
Now you're double going to jail. Bitch.
Oh, twice.
You fucking piece of shit.
Piece of pussy, sit down, Karen.
Oh, she calls him a fucking piece of shit, and then he calls her a piece of, I can't even say that word. It gets worse. Watch.
Sit down, Karen. Sit down, fucking Karen.
So this dude here is like telling this old man, please, just keep your mouth shut. Just stop it. We're trying to get her. We're trying to get her down the aisle. We're trying to separate you from her. This is pretty. This is getting bad. But she did put her hand on his. She slapped him. Then she put her hand like this on his jaw. She's already laid hands on him twice.
Look, she punched me.
Put your fucking mask on! Tell him to put his mask on! Put your fucking
She
mask
punched
on!
me. She scratched my face. I want her to fuck
Put
out
your
of here.
fucking mask on!
Now, here's the I've somebody said that this may be an air marshal. I pray that this is not the air, that there wasn't an air marshal, because the amount of time it took for this man, who is supposed to be a trained law enforcement person, to actually get up and participate in this, he let, if this is the air marshal, he let this get this bad.
Put your fucking mask
Put yours
on!
on, bitch.
I will put my mask on. I will put my mask on when you put your mask on. Thank you.
She went crazy on the airplane. Punched this man in the face, spit on him, scratched him, pour hot water on my leg.
Yes, you.
Pour hot water on my leg. So, I mean, this is the sad part. This is the I mean, I don't even know how to describe this. This is how bad we are, that people are so afraid of each other just because of a mask. Like, she went all crazy on him for not wearing his mask, and she never had her mask up the entire time. This is how separated from reality we are. I mean, there's a moment where, yes, okay, fine, and I don't want to get into the mask, anti-mask nonsense. There's another video I'm going to play later that will. This is the. We're telling people right now, and I know that on the plane you're supposed to wear a mask. I know that. I mean, that is the rule. But you're supposed to take it off, obviously, when you're eating. Because you can't eat through the mask, by the way. There is a way to, well, yes, she was definitely a hypocrite, Ian Thomas. There's a way to approach that situation where you could say, excuse me, sir, you should be wearing your mask. And he would say, I'm eating. And then you would say, oh, I apologize for interrupting your meal, and continue on your day. Whereas you are so afraid of a virus that you should be afraid of, by the way, that you will forget common decency, that you will forget how to communicate with other humans. We get so angry in what we do when people ignore us. People talk about us like we're not in the room. We're not allowed to speak for ourselves, that we get so frustrated that we're already on edge. Good morning, Andrew. That we forget that we're humans, that we should be glad to be awake, alive, and on the planet Earth instead of in the planet Earth, under the earth, and dead. It is disturbing to me, the amount of nonsense and the amount of insanity that we've allowed to pervade our culture. Everybody should be allowed to live their life the way they want to live their life, as long as it doesn't interfere with us, with me. We use that argument when we're talking about this stuff. What I'm doing is not hurting you. Why is my behavior so important to you? It's the same thing with everything else. The guy was eating, but even if the guy was not wearing the mask because he didn't want to wear the mask, you're wearing your mask. You've been vaccinated. I'm sure you've been poked. Why are you afraid? I mean, if that virus is going to get into your body, it's going to get into your body. You can do things to reduce the amount of opportunity that virus has to enter your body, but no shot, no mask, no social distancing is going to stop a virus for getting in there. There is still an opportunity. There's still a chance. Nothing is 100%. Why make yourself an awful human being because of it? We're going to have to learn to live with this thing. And I'm not going to allow this virus to affect my happiness. I'm not going to allow it to, it's like, we used to, if you give into the terror, if you give into the fear, you're letting the terrorists win. If you're giving in to the fear, you're letting the virus win. You've got to learn how to do your shit. You've got to learn how to live life. This whole idea that the world stops because do what you can to minimize it. But if it's going to get you, it's going to get you. You might as well enjoy what you can enjoy. Anywho, let's see. Did anybody? There's the grumpy old lady, or cranky old lady. I don't know what Kevin called. Kevin's not here to insult you, so I don't know what to call you, Skip. I'm just going to call you the lovely Skip Murray. How about that? Anywho, please help Patrick's algorithm. Hit that thumb. It doesn't hurt. Well, don't hit my thumb. My thumb, I've already hit my thumb a lot. No, James, we're trying to stay away from insulting Skip today. We don't want to. We don't refer to women as broad, sir. That's just rude. I was not brought up that way, and I know you were probably brought up with better manners than that too. Shame on you, James Jarvis. Go and cry in your corner. That is just sad that you would insult her like that. Shame, James. We're talking about being kinder people, and then you're in here calling her a cranky old broad. That's not very nice. Stop it. I did get new glasses yesterday. They finally came in. My new super powered trifocals are here. And I can actually see so much better than I have been seeing. But these are old eyes, very old eyes. My wife has said when I got them, she says they're blue. I said, well, I have blue eyes. See, look, blue eyes. That'll bring out the blue, the blue. And I'm wearing a blue hat and a blue shirt today, just to pull it all together. It is. Speaking of the shirt that I'm wearing, I've been a creative little fella this week. I actually went to the Teespring store and I threw up a few new t-shirt designs that you might want to see. Nobody's bought any yet. I'm sad that nobody's bought any of my t-shirts recently. Andrew did buy one of the older sweatshirts that I just added for him the other day, but nobody bought any of the new design. I did myself. I have to buy samples so that I can wear them, because once you see how awesome they are, you will want them as well. But I'm going to show them real quick. So these are the old ones. There's a coffee mug here if you want a coffee mug. These are still all the old designs. This is still the Slaying Dragon shirt is pretty cool, by the way. But I did create a new design. It's called the Nicotine Nerd, and it is a nerd brain, a brain with glasses. I guess that means that all people that wear glasses is a nerd. Anyway. And in front of a field of nicotine molecules, that white background right there is nicotine molecules with the word nicotine nerd. Nicotine nerd. There's that one. And I did a revamp of the nicotine enhanced shirt, which is the one that I am currently wearing. with more of a larger, I think that's the woman's classic tee, but more different presentation of the same graphic. I did recolor this one a little bit. This one is the nicotine enhanced, and if you can't see, the font here has lightning bolts. That's why it looks crackly. It's called I can't remember the name of the font now, but it is lightning cracking through. Anyway, yes, the nicotine enhanced tea. And I know that people have been complaining that there was no 5XLs. There's a 5XL right there. Boom. 5XL. All of the designs that say classic tea in the store are available up to big boy size. And I have tried to add girl shirts because some women like to have shirts that are no, I'm calling myself a nerd, by the way, James Jarvis. I designed it, and I'm going to be wearing it. So I will be calling myself a nerd. You don't know how to play this game at all, James. You're very bad at it. Anyway, the women's classic tee. I did try to make sure that I am not gendering anyone. I don't want to get in trouble for that. But if you choose to wear a V-neck women's premium V-neck tee, you are allowed. And I know that Andrew K had stated previously that he likes V-neck shirts. So I added that. So yeah, there's that. I just thought of wearing that. Since I'm wearing this shirt, I thought I would bring that up. But anyway, before we go to more depth in here, if there's anyone in the chat that wants to come into the room and talk about what New Year's resolutions that they want to attempt, I will throw the link to the studio into the chat room, and open up the floor for people to talk about whatever resolutions that they're preparing to promise themselves, because that's what it is you're making a promise to yourself to do this or to not do that, or to improve here, and so forth and so on. So I myself am going to make the New Year's resolution to not stop picking on James Jarvis. That I will be resolute in that I will continue to pick on James Jarvis. How about that? Janine says that she's more comfortable staying in the cloakroom. And Skip is actually at her shop today. I think this is the saddest day in my memory, because I believe that Skip said today was the last day her store was going to be open, which is very sad for me. When my friends are sad, I am sad as well. This is awful, not to get into the vapey stuff, because we talk about the vapey stuff 50 weeks out of the year. But to have a friend who has tried her damnedest to save people's lives suddenly not be able to do this. This is the worst part of this whole thing that we're doing, is that we are only asking. This would be like the government saying that all life preserver stores had to close, or that the government put so many regulations on how you could manufacture and sell life preservers that they forced your business out of business. You know what I'm saying? This is awful to me. And we should be mourning. I mean, obviously there are people here that, again, I don't want to go too deep into the vaping stuff. But there are people here that are continuing to sell product that they know is illegal. And if they get in trouble or if they get caught, they're going to, just because they want to save people's lives. I mean, how far, because we're talking about humanity now, how far are you willing to go to save people's lives? Are you willing to break the law? Are you willing to stand up and say, you know what? Do to me whatever you will, but I'm still going to be here to help people not die. Because again, the most human people that I deal with on a daily basis are my patients, but I'm helping them. That's my job. That would be like them telling me tomorrow, oh, by the way, you can't do your job anymore. You can't look after the health of your patients anymore. That's essentially what they're doing to the vape shops. I mean, without actually calling your clients patients. You're saving their lives. You're offering them a therapy that will keep them from dying. Janine, I offered to make Skip a Skip t-shirt, and she called me a son of a bitch. I have the private message. I could show it to you. She called me a son of a bitch. So yes, we're gonna do what we do. Anywho, so I sold. Oh, and for those of you that weren't here last Friday, so now there's 2 people. Oh, Skip, I've got 2 votes from people that say I should design a t-shirt for you, or of you, or with you on it. I have to think of. The creative juices are flowing now. For those of you that aren't aware, Andrew in the chat room is the inventor, the manufacturer, the trademark holder to the word vape band. Excuse me. He has designed a wristband. I have one, not of mine, but it's like this. You wear it on your wrist. You put it on your wrist. With the Son of Liberty Radio graphics on it. I'm going to share this on the screen real quick. This is our commercialization period of the show. This is where we sell stuff that I'm an awful salesperson, by the way. So this is my logo, the Son of Liberty Radio logo. And it also has the vaping scallywag skull and crossbones. And then the words, hoist the black flag. And they're limited edition. They're $5 a piece. When we sell these, there will not be more. Show our friend Andrew some love and go and spend $5. If you have more money, if you want to go buy some of the hashtag clusterfuck vape bands, which were conceptualized right here on this show. There's 2 different versions. They come in 22 millimeter and 24 millimeter. They glow in the dark. And you can buy a 2-pack for $6. Go and again, show Andrew, who has been around vaping forever, almost if not longer than me. Go show him some love. Send him some money. We support our friends. Andrew has never sent me a single dollar, but he did send me some vape bands. So go and help us out. Go help Andrew out, and I didn't call the MDO liquids. I didn't pull the MDO liquids from my shop. I just about shit my pants a couple weeks ago when the FDA inspector showed up. I'm waiting for my naughty girl letter now, but you'll be out of business by then. Thank God, you know, Andrew says, I will be sending you money. Not if they don't sell. Don't send me any money if they don't sell, dude. But anyway, yeah, this is, yes, that's right. Andrew says people need to buy them first. But yes, even if Andrew wasn't cutting us in for a part of the profits, I would still support my friend Andrew, just because. But apparently, all of you people are perfect because nobody has showed up in the green room to talk about their resolutions. So I will show you some more video content showing the awfulness of humanity. I'm trying to decide. I have 5 videos that I have queued up. Let's do this one. This one is the if you're a parent that has a child, this video will set you off. This is pretty bad. I'm going to just go in cold and I'm going to explain it as we go.
You don't have it, then you're gonna have to leave. And if not,
okay. So this is a little child. They're sitting in a booth in a restaurant. And here let's play this again.
but you don't have it, then you're gonna have to leave.
So he says, if you don't have it, then you're going to have to leave. You will find this child does not have a proof of vaccine, does not have a vaccine card because he's a child. And up until just recently, the CDC and all those people were saying that these small humans it was not needed for them to get the shot. And even now, just looking at this child, I don't know his age. I would say that he's just on the edge of what has been approved. But anyway, this is going to blow your mind when you see this shit.
And if not,
all right. So they're at a fucking restaurant. This woman and this child, and there may be other people in the booth. Now, on screen right now, I can see the back of one cop and the fronts of 1, 2, 3 other cops. How many fucking cops does it take? And I have repeatedly said I support law enforcement. But that child right there is going to be having nightmares about cops for the rest of his life. But keep going.
No, had a minute. You're not gonna stay here.
So if you don't have it, you have to leave. And the mom says, I'm not going anywhere. He's too young to be vaccinated.
You came in with a jacket?
All right, that's 1, 2. There's like 4 more cops. So there's like 8 cops right now.
You have to leave.
You have to leave.
Wow. Scaring a child, traumatizing a child. Hope you feel good about yourself, NYPD. This
Now you can hear the kid crying in the background. Now we don't know what the situation is, you know. This could be his birthday. And mom taking him out to his favorite restaurant on his birthday. We don't know. And the fucking cops show up because he doesn't have a vaccine passport or proof of vaccination and says that he has to leave.
disgusting. This is gross.
You guys failed us last night. You failed us last night. You all failed us. We're here for you and your kids.
Disgraceful.
You failed.
You failed yourself, NYPD. You failed yourself. Is this what you signed up for? Is this what justice looks?
So I think the patch on the back of his jacket says NYPD Strategic Response Group. I think that's what
like for you? Is this what you dreamed of?
Look
when
at
you
all
wanted
those
to be a
cops.
cop?
This is sad.
You got back so you can come in. You're killing yourselves to live. You're killing yourselves to live. Look at this.
Attention, please. All right, unless you have vaccination cards, all right, you have to exit the restaurant. All right. If you leave voluntarily, all right, you will not be pressed. There will not charges pressed against you. Otherwise, you will be arrested for trespass.
So this is how have we how exactly have we allowed this to occur? That, I mean, apparently somebody had to pick up their phone and call the police because this little boy doesn't have his vaccine card. For this many police to show up, they weren't just sitting there like having a sting. Oh, let's see if the restaurant forces these. Somebody had to call the police. They don't have time to respond to this, and they seriously do not need to send 20 police officers to a fucking restaurant because a child does not have a piece of paper that says he got a shot. Again, I fully support vaccinations. I am not saying people don't get vaccinated, but we have allowed the fear of this virus to pervade everything and to reduce us to the lowest form of humanity on the ever. Like cavemen were more civilized and more caring than that.
All right, this will be the only warning, please.
Yeah, a child crying is.
But you don't have.
Yeah. I mean, literally, Gestapo. Like, here's your yellow star. This is so crazy to me. Kevin just messaged me. He's at the grocery store, he says. Pushing an empty grocery cart. He sent me a photograph. He sent me. Look, I'll show you what Kevin sent me. I'm at the grocery store. I share the screen. And he's shopping and for nothing. There's nothing in his cart. I want everyone to tag Kevin and say, dude, you can't even shop good because if you're shopping, there should be stuff in that cart. Dude, I'm just saying, yeah. Janine says 911, what is your emergency? Sorry, our response will be delayed. Our members are too busy traumatizing a child at a restaurant. Exactly. I'm so sad. I'm seriously, I have no, I'm at a loss for words at the, at this. Seriously, y'all, I don't know how many times I can say seriously, by the way. Seriously. Kevin must be buying air. Yes, because there's nothing in the cart. He sent me an audio message, but it's just him like pushing the cart. He says he doesn't even know how he did it. This is, Kevin is co-hosting from the grocery store, like right now. Like, yeah. Happy New Year, Sean Casey. Sean, if you want to come in and talk about New Year's resolutions and not vaping, I will slap the link in the chat room again for everybody, because I mean that's what we're talking about, is how are we going to be better people? Because I mean that should be the news headline today. America and the world, be better people, be better humans. Because if those first two videos did not point out the awfulness that is humans, there's more. I actually have one that I'm saving for the very end that will show you how far down the evolutionary path we've fallen. Everybody thinks that evolution should be improvement. We're evolving, we're adapting and growing. The last video that I have to play, the last two videos that I have there, it's like part 1 and part 2. That is an embarrassment. But hey, you know, ask and ye shall receive. Sean Casey is in the Great White North and is here to say hello. Hello, Sean Casey.
Hello, Patrick.
How is the weather in the Great White North? Is it actually white? Do you have snow?
No, green Christmas. It's just like sucky in every other way. It's cold, it's wet, it's miserable, it's gray.
Well, here, I mean, South Texas, it's like 75 and sunny.
Fuck off.
My mom is in Pennsylvania, and I said to her yesterday that, you know, it was like 80 was the high yesterday, and she said the same thing.
Well, actually, I can't complain. I'm just back from Nassau. We went for 10 days over Christmas.
I saw your picture, you bastard.
Yeah, it was absolutely, Yeah, we went full tilt to a bougie resort, and it was lovely.
Bougie. I haven't heard bougie in a while. We need to bring that word back, I guess.
It's one of my favorites.
Janine says that they have 10 inches of snow in Vancouver, and it's -9 degrees Celsius. What the hell?
Yeah. Well, I mean, she lives in Lotus Land, right?
You're in Toronto, right? Or near Toronto?
Near Toronto, the Niagara region outside of Toronto. It's kind of like Sonoma Valley to San Francisco.
Yeah, when I lived in Pennsylvania, I had friends that were in Toronto, and we would drive up to this lake we'd rent a house for the week and live in a lake house in some lake just north of Toronto. I can't remember the name of it.
The region is called Muskoka. That's our lake district north of Toronto.
Muskoka. That doesn't mean that it doesn't pull any memories, but
Bracebridge, Huntsville, Gravenhurst, you know, those are the towns in that area.
I do remember that there was a very nice liquor store there, and I spent like $500 to buy liquor there. So I do remember that.
Yeah,
or my bank account did at least.
I actually watched you last show, the Christmas Day show or the Christmas Eve Day show.
Yeah,
from Bahamas on my iPad.
Yeah, I know you commented in the chat room.
Yeah,
and you made me mad because you were like, hello from the Bahamas, and I'm like, Actually, I can't complain. I mean, South Texas is not too bad. I mean, obviously, I wasn't at a bougie resort. I was just here at my house, but it's not too bad. My house is not too bad.
So how are you, buddy?
I'm actually like, it's so weird to me to be off on a Friday. So I'm sort of out of sorts with myself because I don't know what to do.
I'm sure your wife will find you something to do.
Well, no, she's at work.
Oh.
You know, in healthcare, the nurses never get off. I mean, the hospital always has to have staff. So she's at work and she won't be home until like 9 o'clock tonight. So yeah. And I already did everything on the honeydew list. I offered to take the Christmas decorations down and she said, you will not touch the Christmas decorations yet.
Yeah. Week after New Year's.
Well, when I was a kid, the day after Christmas, the Christmas tree went down. So like, we actually got like a bonus if we got rid of it and put it away quickly, you know. So I'm not of the festive decoration sort.
So
but Did you
decided
get yourself
not to do a Friday night? You're gonna do Friday night stream
tonight? Tonight is New Year's Eve. The ball's gonna drop. I want to be with my wife when Old Lang Syne starts to play, and do all that. So during the holiday, I was like, no, we're not gonna do a Friday. I mean, if the holiday would have been on a different day, it wouldn't have affected us. But since today, is the day, sort of feel obligated to spend it with my wife. Love you guys, but I love her more.
Yeah, we're just doing quiet New Year's Eve. Okay. Thai food and Japanese is the.
I've got the the traditional. I'm actually doing Chinese red braised pork belly, and I have to have black-eyed peas and cabbage because that's just our deal. That's the Southern American deal. So we're having like redneck fusion because I'm gonna do the red braised Hangzhou pork belly, and I'm gonna do half the pork belly in that, and then the other half I will make chicharron out of it. So we'll do a little Mexican, little Chinese, and then the traditional Irish redneck stuff. So, but that's already all prepared. All I got to do is actually cook it. But it doesn't. Once you set it, the braised pork belly cooks itself over time. You just got to keep an eye on it, and it'll come out and be that wonderful red caramel braised, sugary, 2 different kinds of soy saucy red wine sort of thing. And it'll be that sort of melt in your mouth layer of fat. You can only have it like once a month. It's that bad, Cholesterol might jump up 200 points just from looking at it, but it is awesome.
So this is a non-Kevin, non-vaping show?
Well, Kevin was supposed to be here, but then his wife wanted to go grocery shopping. And, again, if mama ain't happy, nobody's happy.
Yep.
So he chose to do that. And, we talk about vaping stuff every week. And, this is life coach time. Last week we talked about all the good stuff. And then obviously we want to talk about what we are going to do to be better humans, our New Year's resolutions, whatever that is. And obviously we're going to talk about vaping at some point. It happens every time that we say we're not going to talk about vaping stuff. We still talk about vaping stuff. So yeah, it will inevitably revert to our normal pattern. But yeah, I mean, we know each other on a surface level. Like we only know so much about each other. And, last week I put the link in the chat room, and people that have never been guests on the show came in and talked about themselves. They talked about their hopes, their Christmas wishes, those things. So that we can learn to know each other other than this one thing that we have in common.
Yeah.
You and I know that you own, you are a flavor manufacturer. You're a good employer because you have those events that you do, the gaming events, the charity gaming events, and you care about your employees from everything that I've ever been able to. I know those surface level details. I know that you like cigars because we talk about cigars.
No. I used to love cigars.
Well,
I used to be a huge. I went and bought almost $1,000 worth of cigars over Christmas and gifted them out. Didn't smoke one of them. Like we're talking primo Cubans.
Yeah. Well, if you're in the Bahamas, you have access to.
Yeah, they had a
great
selection. Great selection.
But I mean, I know those details about.
Yeah. That's kind of my past. Okay, I used to be like a huge cigar aficionado, right? But that was one of those things I gave up for vape, right?
Yeah.
Me
too.
I used to be known on Facebook for the longest time. My handle was Niagara Kayaker. Okay, that's one thing you don't know about me.
Yeah, okay? I didn't know that.
Until I got involved in advocacy. So I had a avatar Niagara Kayaker, and that was derived from a worldwide kayak club where you name yourself based upon where you're located. It's irrelevant that my name is Sean. right?
Yeah.
You put your handle out there as I'm from Niagara, right? And it's a well-known place to kayak because of the
Now,
Great Lakes here.
is your kayak an actual barrel? Because I do know that people used to.
No. Actually, sea kayaking, right? So it's a lifelong passion of mine. I've kayaked all around the world. I try to kayak wherever I go that's new. That's one of my landmark mecca locations to kayak. But I've kayaked, on multiple continents and places. And it's like this kayaking for me is my little nirvana. It's my, how do I escape the stress of everyday living? I live on the water on a beautiful, large kind of lake bay off of Lake Ontario, which is one of the Great Lakes in Canada. And I live right on the water, so I have a dock in the backyard and kayaks at the dock. And when I have a terrible long day, repressive advocacy bullshit, I turn everything off. I leave my phone, I leave everything, and I jump in my kayak and I literally kayak down the bay out onto the lake. We have beautiful beaches here, freshwater beaches where we are. So I'll pull up to some beach and just not meditate, but just be alone. Yeah. Right? You want to hear something about me? And a lot of people still to this day know me as Niagara or Niagara Kayaker. And it's amazing. Still, I still have a Facebook page that I just wanted to keep the name. But the club is so cool that wherever you are in the world, you can reach out to me and say, hey, my name is Patrick Rifle. I'm from Texas. I'm coming to Canada on holidays. I'm a huge kayaker. I've seen your name out there. Any chance we can kayak together in Niagara? And I've had probably 10 plus people stay at my house from Australia, from Africa, from Europe. And they'll come and I'll get them a kayak and we'll go kayaking at a great place together. And I'll give them a great hospitality of what it is to kayak in Niagara. And a lot of times we'll have a meal together. A lot of times they'll stay for the night because they're Australian backpackers or something like that, right? They're on a low budget and whatever. I'm glad to let them use one of our spare bedrooms. And yeah, so that's one thing that people in today's world, I mean, there's the old world of vaping in this community that I came into, and I didn't want to change my name. And quite frankly, I didn't want to share my name. And I didn't share my name with this world until I was heavily involved in advocacy and some dickwad decided to call me out on Facebook and say, his name's not Niagara Kayaker. And Facebook forced me to use my name. At that time, I had just bought into Flavor Art Worldwide, and I was a shareholder now in the industry and starting up Flavor Art in North America. And I thought, you know what, fuck it, I might as well, use my real name now, right?
Yeah, I mean, we all had. I mean, back in the early days of this, I mean, my everybody knew me as my vaping militia name. Nobody knew that my name was Patrick, and I was at an event and I was on stage, and they were like, "Well, what do you want? Do you want us to introduce you as your Facebook handle or your vaping TV handle?" And I'm like, put my name on there. And Alex Clark kind of forced that. He's like, people need to know who you are. So I was like, okay.
But that's a funny thing. That's like a great part of the history of this community is when it started in sort of 2010. No one used their real names. Everybody had names from other things, and they just migrated in. Okay, Shy Sinus was Island Vapor. My vice president, Richard Hong, was DJ Vapes for the longest time. Okay, Red Rock Hiker, right? Lou Ritter. Okay, no one knew his real name, Lou Ritter, right? To a certain extent, that's why Grim Green called himself Grim Green, right? Because we weren't using our real names back then, right? No one knew his name was Nick, right? Okay, for the longest time, right? Yeah,
that's true. I mean, Basardo was like the only one. Well, Dimitri and they always use their real names, but I mean, he used to be Vaping Greek. That was when I met him back in old timey days on Stickcam. He was Greek.
Well, Phil, it's an interesting story. You asked him the story, but his real handle is DJ Miami.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I know that history as well.
Yeah.
But I mean, we all started online either at ECF or in the video world, in the different channels that existed at the time. It's really funny is the one place that we Vapors TV, the guy that started that is the guy that owns Twitch, Justin.
Right.
That I mean, he started out with just offering video services to hobbyists, different kinds of hobbies, and started a separate server just for vaping because there was so many vaping people.
And that was our first experience to actually see faces on the screen rather than just in text, right? That those little side cams, right? I remember living on vape TV.
Yeah,
right? I didn't want to be a host. I didn't want to be that engaged and everything of that nature, but lots of people did back in those days. But that whole crew, right? Blacksmith, Vi, Lou, all of those people. Jen, I can't remember Jen's last name. Cooper.
Texas Tunes Lady.
Texas Tunes Lady. She's still around. She watches your show all the time, right? She's a very good person. What's her name?
Jen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's funny is I was just on my Facebook, and there she is. That's her.
Yeah.
And Dimitri, me.
That must be a recent. When was that shot?
This was in 2018. This is March 31st, 2018.
Okay.
It was just the when I went to my profile on Facebook. It's right here. It's the first photo.
Was that Houston show?
That was at that was the what do they call that? Vape showcase.
Yeah. That was the show that we were pushing at AIMSA hard on that congressman.
Yeah,
we actually funded to bring him there.
Oh, is that how he got there? I know that a particular person who I will not mention on this show had told him that at that show that he shouldn't talk to me and Dimitri because we're bad people or whatever. And then he also threatened that when he saw us, he was going to kick our asses or something. And the moment we walked into the event, he disappeared. But I did sit down with that particular congressman. And there are photographs of me blowing his mind on that event, at that event.
Yeah, that was one of those things where Dimitri was hard off AIMSA. And
I wasn't. My conversation with him had nothing to do with AIMSA.
I remember that whole incident. I was on the board of AIMSA. I had to be aware of all the things going on, right?
Shell Hamill brought him over to us, and we sat at Shell's booth to sit down and have a conversation with the guy and explain why his legislation, which had nothing to do with AIMSA. I mean, AIMSA was in it, I believe.
AIMSA wrote that legislation.
There was a hardware. Hey, David Gerlitz. There was a hardware organization. Something about developing a hardware standards organization was built into that too. And I know that Donovan from Avail had part. And I love Donovan. There's a lot of people that have awful things to say about Avail.
Very sad to see them go.
Donovan was always there for advocacy. Anytime something needed to happen, I don't care what you say, he always was there.
Yeah, he was a really righteous dude. Okay, people forget him because he really wasn't part of the last 5 years of Avail. When other people moved in, I don't know the story, but somehow
I don't either.
Somehow he just disappeared from the scene. I have done a lot of work with Avail and Blackbriar over the last 4 or 5 years through the PMTA. And somehow he just disappeared from the scene.
Yeah. But he was a great guy.
Yeah.
We ever asked for money, how much you need? Developing, I know people that worked with him through a different flavor company, not your flavor company, that, we're working on compliance stuff well in advance of just about anybody else that I, obviously you guys were working on it too, but good people. And to hear a lot of the nonsense that gets drug around, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I mean, these old people, the old guard, you bring up Texas Tunes Lady, the guys over here at I forgot they have the square box mod that everybody had to have.
Oh yeah.
The Texas I can't.
Yeah, that was the funniest thing. That was the funniest thing on the show. He's all that congressman is all, I can't do anything. I can't receive gifts. We have to figure out how to, fund this. Okay, that's legit. Da, da, da. And then he's like all bragging because he got one of those mods at the show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Okay, and he's like flaunting it. And I'm thinking that was my first indication that maybe,
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I did on my show. I did a story. I actually, because that's one of the things I do is I read news stories and I, try to help people understand that the headline, Hexhome. Thank you.
Hexhome. Thank you. Yeah.
Here's the news story. Learn how to read for yourself and think for yourself. I mean, that's the whole point. That's one of the things that we do on the show. And, we read a story about how that particular congressman may not have been as above the board as and I got in trouble. Somebody who, again, will remain nameless because I don't say his name on the show, said that I should keep my mouth shut. That I'm hurting the cause by telling the truth.
Well,
that vapers don't need to know.
That's when I noticed you on the scene, right? We certainly didn't talk as much, or we didn't have a friendship at that time, but I knew who you were. And it's one of the sad things is that I've supported everything. I've supported CASA since 2010. Okay, I'm still on the board of AIMSO, whether you want to consider it alive or dead, it's still alive. I've been on the board for VTA for 3 years until I didn't believe it in anymore. I'm sitting on SOFADA's board because I totally believe that SOFADA is a good force of good and needs to exist. I mean, we need one national trade association, right? Okay, without SOFADA, there's nothing. Okay, let's just be completely unrepresented nationally.
Yeah.
As for a not-for-profit, right? But you think about all of those things, and I remember it was that. Okay, that congressman at the same time I was supporting Mark Block. Okay, and I remember you were very negative towards Mark.
I was not initially. I wrote it. I interviewed him for 3 hours and did a 4-page article for the Vaping Advocate on him. And the moment, see, here's the thing. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you are. If you're doing something that I believe in, I will support you. I'm not a joiner. Whether that's VTA, whether that's EC, whatever.
You're a consumer, okay?
Yeah. But the moment in that article, in that interview, where he bashed CASA, like he vocally bashed CASA during the interview, I all of my questions were very neutral. Like I purposefully did not, because I knew that the Vaping Legion guys were going after him. I just wanted him to, I gave him enough air so that he could go wherever he wanted to go. And I just took down what he said.
Yeah, but he was one of those guys, okay? And I could say a lot of good things about him and what he was trying to do. And he certainly wasn't making any money. It's not like he was making Tony Abood, okay, $400K a year salary money, right? But, he was one of those guys that he had a rope around his neck and he was bound to hang himself, okay, within 10 minutes of talking, okay, right? Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, right? Totally, I completely agree with you, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what it was about that guy, but
I did not set out, and I didn't write a hit piece either. I just put his words out. I did not change thing.
Yeah, I hear you. I'm not holding it against you. You know what?
When I went to journalism school, I was taught to never put yourself into the story. And this is the thing that I don't, these people that are, big, huge network people, apparently never went to journalism school, because I went to I'm of the school of thought, who, what, when, where, and why. That's it. That's all you're supposed to relay the facts as the news, as the press, and allow the people who absorb or read your content to formulate their own opinions.
So that's interesting.
Today,
I didn't know you were a journalism student, but it certainly
that was back in old timey days.
But it certainly makes sense based upon what your show has become, and how the format reads. Right.
Yeah, I went to journalism school for 2 years. I was a stringer photographer for the Times Picayune. I worked for Gannett, who is one of the largest news conglomerates, press, like printed news conglomerates in the world. And then I changed my major and became an art major.
Yeah. Today, what I'm thankful for is there's still people like you, that are continuing to fight and bringing news, and perspective, to the marketplace, because it's all but gone, right?
Yeah.
Phil, there's no one out there really that's doing it anymore. Even Dimitri doesn't have the time to be talking. Well, he does a show, but it's more fun in him and Phil Shabitzing than him getting back to where he has that intellect to provide perspective on policy and world regulatory focus. So there's very few shows like this left that you can come out and you go, I read that story, but I'm interested to hear Patrick and Kevin talk about it, right? Right. I mean, there's Reg Watch, and God only knows I supported its creation and its sustainment until a valley hit and my business went in for a shit, and I asked John Glauser to step up, and he did. God bless John. I love the guy to death. He's like a little brother to me, and he stepped up and kept Reg Watch alive, right? But the stories need to be discussed. The stories need to be given context. I don't know how anybody is in this industry living a life, with their head in the sand. It's scary to me. That's the biggest thing I'd like to see change. And maybe at the precipice of the edge, things can still change. But there's probably a good 1,000 to 5,000 retailers out there that have no understanding of what's going on, either at their state or federally, right? Yeah. They might hear some skewed value of that from some e-liquid salesman or distro, but that's not how I want to understand my business intelligence, quite frankly, right? So, there's so many people that, are just giving up. I mean, at the end of the day, I might as well be a cannabis flavoring company now, right? And I can't lie that I'm not focused at that. But Jennifer Winston DeAngelis, who's I think is still in the chat. I've got 40 new flavors I've been working on that are coming out. Right. But I'll tell you here, news. You want newsworthy first? Fuck it. I'm selling diacetyl and AP flavors again. For the first time in 7 years, we said fuck it. Right.
Those were so yummy too.
It's fully, we've made them fully available to our distributors. And we just sort of said, if the Canadian government, if the United States government doesn't care, if this is the way the industry is going to go, sick to my stomach after taking millions and millions and millions of dollars out of my pocket, to defend the industry and saying no to even more millions of dollars in business that I could have taken over the last 7 years. And I can't tell you how many big companies I've said no to. Corn, bread crust, pie filling, pie crusts, obviously custard.
There's a guy here in Texas that had a sweet cornbread, e-liquid, and it was amazing. And I can't remember.
Yeah, corn. Just, if there's, anybody in the marketplace, Corn adds a lot of flavor. You add, a little bit of caramel or something to corn, right? And then you've got that, what is it called when you get that kind of sweet popcorn that you sell in the South? You kind of get it at
Kettle corn.
Kettle corn. It's a very American thing, right?
Well, didn't Clinton Legg have a kettle corn? His Carney Y4 had a kettle corn note to it in the beginning.
Right.
I don't know if Clinton used that or not, but the situation is here, and you being a businessman and having more insight into regulatory stuff, I'm of the mind that we're going to have a thriving black market.
Totally.
And it'll probably be the safest black market in the history of black markets, But I mean, with the people in our legislature that are pushing, that are completely ignorant of the actual facts of the situation, demanding writing ill-conceived legislation based on nothing, like other than ideology and propaganda. I don't want to be the negative Nelly. I always appear to be the negative Nelly, but it appears to me that more often than not, my predictions of negativity tend to come true. That we're going to end up having a period where there's nothing legal on the market except for, convenience store shit. Obviously, the one PMTA that I know of that has been approved, or both of the PMTAs that I know that have been approved for vapor products, are products that are no longer even on the market, right? So that solo one, that just gives them permission to, instead of using the superior, the product that they've built on that platform in advance, they're just going to go back to manufacturing the old version that wasn't as good as the version that they already sell. They've got a PMTA now, so they might as well fucking sell it.
Those products weren't good when they came out I know. In 2016, and they're certainly not good now. But they don't care, because if
it's the only thing on the market, people will have no other choice.
Yeah, kids will vape anything. They'll vape puke flavor, right?
And they'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
So, they've got permission to sell it. So I guarantee it, whether they had it on the market when their PMTA was approved, there's a factory somewhere that's making them now.
The sucky thing in all of this is a lot of e-liquid companies, let's put Avail aside because they were a retailer more than a manufacturer, and they became more of a scientific company with Blackbriar than anything else.
Yeah.
And a lot of their retail stores were not doing well. Let's just come to terms with that. And the ones that were, Mad Vapes bought, and they're still in business, right? Right?
And Mad Vapes is a Canadian company, right?
No. It's still, they might have some ownership, but no. Mad Vapes.
I know that they're here. I know that they have one in Hawaii. They have one in, they have them in North Carolina and South Carolina, all over the place.
I'm not sure who their ownership is now. It's not Canadian, but I mean that's a successful retail formula. Avail wasn't at the end of the day, right? Yeah. Right? Yeah. It was too. It's funny because you go from one spectrum to the other. So today in the marketplace, the pool hall retail store with lounge, is skewed too far one way, and then if you take this clinical type of store that has no heart and soul, which was what Avail was, very professional merchandising and retailing, but almost like you felt like you're going into a cellular store, right? It was cookie cutter, it was formulated to the other store. It bothers me that vaping is going forward, one way or the other, Okay, it will heavily be in the black market for the next little while. But retailers are the ones that are getting screwed, right? Because they're the ones that are getting inspected, right? And it's difficult, right? And with supply logistics problems, I'm going to tell you that we're going to see a hard time getting enough TFN, okay, to supply the marketplace, right? There's still huge struggles with all of our primary products: VG, PG, synthetic nicotine, and even flavored to a certain extent, because we use PG in our flavors, right?
Yeah. So, have you been following the Chinese thing?
Yeah. I'm on the Zines consortium council thing.
Yeah.
Right. So I get all of the information. Safada signed off. You can ask April Michelle about that on what he just sent out. He had a meeting pre-Christmas that we all went to, but now it's early days to understand, right?
Right. But am I wrong? In because I read somebody that I know is pretty smart. Read it and said that there was an export ban written into that bill. Is that true?
You know what? The bill talks about a lot of things, okay, but it's all speculative at this stage. Patrick, they are not going to walk away.
I know, right?
Okay, from United States being a $10 billion marketplace for them, right?
No, they want that money. They want that money for sure.
And they're not gonna just unemploy, 50,000 Chinese that are in that, making enough money to be viable and making them look like a first world country.
Well, it doesn't make any sense to me that they would. I mean, all these years it's been illegal for them to have to sell them in China, but they've allowed manufacture for export the entire time. It doesn't make any sense to me that they're going to to regulate it and allow it to be sold in their country now, and then say that you can't export it, because you allowed manufacture this entire time to be solely for export. So yeah, it doesn't make any sense to me, but I did read that and I'm like, that doesn't make any, they're not willing to allow billions of dollars to not be distributed to themselves.
Yeah. And let's understand, China is no longer the place to manufacture shit. Okay, they've actually become a little bit too expensive. All of those companies could flip to Vietnam, they could flip to India, blah blah blah. Okay, if China thinks that they're the everything and everything, right? You got to remember, in China, the thing is you don't own your factory.
No.
Right. So, and I've got a lot of cash, so I could go buy a factory in India. Okay, and if you don't want me employing these 5,000 Chinese people, okay, just tell me, and I'll be in fucking India tomorrow. I'll be in Vietnam tomorrow, right?
I'm sure that you could get a factory in the Philippines.
Yeah, still a little bit more expensive labor than India or Vietnam, right? Unfortunately, right? No,
I'm just pushing Philippines because I have a house there.
Yeah, I understand. Okay, yeah. But the Philippines have their own problems and their own, it's the opposite. It's like communist corruption over here versus, democratic corruption over here in the Philippines. And guess what? The Philippines wrote the book on corruption.
Oh,
right? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Right. It is extremely difficult. I know a lot of friends that manufacture things in the Philippines and Indonesia, and it's very difficult, to work through the red tape, and the bullshit that they just put in front of you every day. Right, that's a whole nother world. We think
that's a whole nother conversation.
We think that we're alone with vaping, right? And American regulation and bullshit from FDA, right? We're not alone. Okay, you don't think drug companies have been going through this bullshit for fucking years?
Yeah, they just know how to play the game better than we do.
Well, it's real.
They've been doing it for a century.
They're creating the formula for business success, which means go big or go home. Okay, have a massive fucking lab and be able to provide us blithering amounts of shit, to satisfy our power tripping bullshit, that we want to provide APPH, right? Indelibly imprinted in my brain, but my law firm in Washington D.C. is one that works with Big Pharma, right? Their experience, okay, is very specifically getting drug approvals, right? Okay, and they say to us, hey, listen, as much bullshit as this is, okay, they just want your money, right? They don't want to deal with all these little companies. They refuse to, right? Okay, if other marketplaces were as easy, we wouldn't have only 3 auto manufacturers. Okay, look how hard it's been for Tesla.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You don't think it's been hard for Tesla to become a new auto manufacturer of worth in your marketplace? It's fucking difficult, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, what's really crazy and sad is that I don't know how aggressive or active you are on Twitter, but somebody who I has been relatively well thought of, that's a PhD guy in vaping. He's done some good stuff, some bad stuff, but anyway, we're having a heated conversation on Twitter because he says dependence and addiction are the same thing, and he wrote us that he's touting a study that says that there's irrefutable evidence that vaping is as addictive as other illicit drugs, and we're trying to have, because he did a survey. It's all this is a scientific study based on handing somebody a questionnaire and having them fill it out. This is not actual science. This is social science. This is psychology. This is not. But anyway, we're trying to have a conversation. Other PhDs and him are arguing about the definition of addiction.
Right.
And if you didn't give the people on the survey an explanation of the difference between dependence and addiction, and you're using verbiage, nomenclature, you're using words that are from the common dictionary and not the actual what the word means, the official dictionary. They've heard the word addiction and nicotine together so much now that if you ask them how addicted are you, and you don't explain, hey, we just want you to know before you answer these questions that this is the definition of addiction and this is the definition of dependency.
Right.
So that when you answer your questions, use these 2 definitions as your baseline, because everybody else in the world, might have a different definition of what those words mean. You need to explain, these are the words, this is the criteria with which you should answer these questions. And he's arguing, and I'm like, dude, I'm not a fucking scientist, and I still think you should probably explain to people what these words mean before you ask them how addicted you are to vaping or to nicotine or whatever.
Let's put addiction, and that's nicotine, over to one side. Okay, on a dependency factor, vaping is a very, very strong dependency. Right?
I don't disagree.
It has so many aspects to it. It's not just the nicotine, right? It's the fact that it's a hobby. It's the
ritual,
hand to mouth.
All
it's the ritual, the possessive nature of holding something, right? Okay, the exploratory factor of wanting to know more. Okay, I mean, if crack had 5,000 different flavor combination, watch out. Okay, everybody would be smoking crack, right? Okay, but it's like the whole, finding a new flavor. Okay, that hasn't gone away, even though juice bars and all of the testing and blah blah blah, all the innovations. It's still you. I know for you for sure, you're still looking for that perfect vape. As much as you and I have found vapes that we love, you're still eager to find if you could do a tobacco better, right? Okay, I mean, we had a long conversation years ago where you were looking for the net, and I was trying to hook you up with everybody I knew. Okay. That was really good at nets, right? Charles, who just joined the board of Safada, was the international sales director for Chubby Gorilla, right? We were talking the other day, and I'm like, I know you somehow, right? And he goes, yeah. He goes, we met at ECC when I was the sales director at Cafe Racer. I'm like, Cafe Racer? Oh, fuck, I used to love those guys. I remember when they came onto the marketplace, okay, at like the first of the and only Niagara Falls VPX, which was a subset of ECC that they kind of rolled off one year, right? And I said, yeah, fuck, I remember, because I love nets, and I remember your Lucky 13. He goes, yep, okay. And I'm like, oh my God, I was so addicted to that net, okay. But you know, you go through phases and you move on to something else, and blah blah blah, right? But still, I would, you know, pick it up.
You just said I'm so addicted.
Yeah.
When really, I really liked that, or I really loved that, would have been.
But I wasn't dependent. I mean, I use the word addicted. You're right.
Yeah.
But I just
use
like
that word all the
for
time.
a while. But it was just for a while. Like I had to have that flavor.
Yeah.
Okay. Back in the day, if I ran out of Gorilla Juice, okay, from
Alien Visions,
right? Okay, I couldn't not vape that stuff. I mean, I was so scared that I'd run out of it. I was buying like 4 or 5 bottles at a time, right?
Yeah.
I still, every year when Castle Long Reserve goes on sale, USJ, I buy 6 to 8 bottles. Like
well, this is
the big
this
bottles.
is the first year I don't have. I have every release of Castle Long Reserve since 2014 or 2015 in the cabinet over here. I have 1 bottle each, and I even have the employee release, like the second special release of the sometimes they made extra. I have them. I didn't get this year's. I have to talk to J Love.
Yeah. That's one of those things that I still vape today, right?
Yeah. That's like the first special.
Yeah. It's like you're a big bourbon or something drinker. What do you drink? Whiskey or bourbon? I
keep this around for special too.
That's Canadian.
Yeah, I know, but it's hard for me to get this here. So when I order it, I have to.
Okay, if you ever need a hookup, right? I know that guy, super nice guy. I think his name's Phil Dacca. That owns Rope Cut. But, but I know the contract mag. What is that?
This is a new gin. I bought this to open tonight. This is a gin that is aged in bourbon barrels.
Nice.
And it is a boutique. This is a special barrel that was done specifically for this company that I just commercialized alcohol on the show.
Now, what is the characteristic as a flavorist? What is I'm very interested in alcohol as well.
Well, it's the same as all. You still get the botanical notes from the gin, but they're smoothed out with the caramel and the wood notes from the barrel.
Wow. And will you drink that straight over ice? Or
oh no, I'm going to drink it straight over ice. I don't do frou-frou. I can't mix.
No, but it's gin, right? Not many people drink
this gin is specifically designed to be sipped.
Now, would adding a sweet note to that, like a vermouth,
either that or just like do an old-fashioned version, just make it get an orange or a lime or something and muddle it in there. You probably could bring out some new notes. Yeah. You should do a botanical gin flavor, by the way.
Well, I mean, we're on a whole new nexus of life right now in flavor art. In fact, reinventing the whole company. We've launched globally our new business, which is Hedicent. And we're going back to our roots. I mean, flavor art was designed by my business partner, Max, when he left the world's largest flavor house, IFF, as their CTO, their Chief Technology Officer. And he was literally a core chemist and flavorist and just went on his own, right? And his idea was bring gourmet flavors to the home chef, right? And that's how flavor art was designed, because you go to the grocery store today, how many good flavors can you get at your local Kroger's or whatever you have down there in Florida? Very few.
I'm in Texas, but yeah, in
Texas, yeah.
Lemon, lime, banana,
very
maybe
few.
Strawberry extract, yeah. Root beer seems to be very common.
Yeah, sarsaparilla.
Yeah,
but very few, right? So Hedicent is basically, in fact, I'm just gearing up right now that I'm going to be putting some massive marketing dollars against and we're hiring literally a award-winning chef. And we're going to be launching a YouTube cooking channel.
Nice.
Cooking with flavors, and I'm putting some really serious money into it. Like we're talking, easily over $1 million just a year in SEO, right? Just digital media, right? Spends, right? So yeah, we're not giving up on vaping by any means, okay? But our expansion in vaping is limited, okay, until this all goes through. So where do you put your cash? You put your cash in diversification. Last year, we went into the marketplace, into Distro. We built 3 of our own products. Remind me sometime. I'm glad to send them to you. Actually, Grim Green just did a review on one of our products, the Nalt. And this year,
you showed it to me. I've seen that somewhere before.
So we just decided that we weren't going to go into the marketplace in the United States with all the PMTA bullshit. We weren't going to go black market or gray or whatever, right? So yeah, and this year we've been planning all last year for what we're going to do this year, and this year we're very focused on going into the global marketplace in gourmet food flavoring, again, which is our route, right? But it's a very interesting marketplace because just like Capella, TPA, and Flavor West don't do a shit in this industry to support it or market themselves within it with any favorable context. No one in the flavor world is really doing much marketing. There's no innovative marketing of anything in the food world from flavor houses. So we've decided to go really, cutting edge social media, and food channels are really, really big.
Yeah.
They always do well. You can get tons of viewers, and if you put some real money behind it, like we are, you can get magnificent amounts of views.
I mean, that's sort of one of the upsides of this pandemic is that everybody has, during lockdown, had all this extra time, and you were seeing all these people become hobbyist bakers, on YouTube. You were seeing tons of like baking channels pop up. I used to, when I was getting my master's degree, I ran a bakery. So I've been baking for a very long time. Obviously, this is how I built this wonderful physique. But flavorings can be used in anything. I mean, alcoholic beverages. I mean, obviously, I'm going to steer towards
the vegan industry is huge.
Confectionaries, candies, baking, breads. I mean, you can
drinks, desserts,
everything.
And everything that you eat right now, apart from raw meat, is flavored.
Even these, like these things.
What is that?
This is a wax melty thing for scents.
Oh yeah. I mean, separate the word flavor from aroma, right? At the end of the day, what we sell is aromatics. We don't sell flavoring. We sell aromatics. I mean, 80% of what you perceive is through your nose. Okay, isn't that cool? Tobacco flower.
I have tobacco flower wax melty things for the office to make the office smell tobacco waxy or tobacco flowery.
Yeah.
Which does not smell like tobacco, by the way. I'm just telling you.
Anyway, buddy, I don't want to stick on your show and hog the whole show. Okay. I just really thought I'd just come online just to say Happy New Year.
Before you go, though.
Thank you for a great year of smoke-free radio. Oh, the other thing I wanted to ask, okay? Start pumping Shell's show, please, for me. Shell came back, into the industry after I know and love Shell too. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And, everything that she's gone through in the last couple of years, for her to come back to Safada and volunteer to be on the board, it's not easy to be a joiner, as you just already said, right? And to come back after all the bullshit she's been through, everything she's given to Texas, this industry for the last 5-10 years, for her to come back after everything she's been through and join up again and put her heart and soul. And you know what? And she wanted to do a show just to talk about unsung heroes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just to talk about everyday guy and to do an interview show with everyday guy. And I really want it to be a success. So far, it hasn't had much traction, but buddy, any pimping and everybody that's in the audience today, you know what? We need more shows, And Shell is just such a wonderful lady, and she's the perfect type of host to interview somebody, right? And she knows what it is. Like she interviewed James Jarvis and his vice president, okay, this week, right? Didn't get a lot of traction, but it was a great interview. You know what I mean? Like, and I just love the theme line of just talking to everyday Joe, right? Those people and having those conversations. Because that, you know what, if I want to be thankful for something, it's remembering the heart and soul of the people that still give a shit, right? Okay, that have tried, and okay, they're unsung heroes. I mean, James Jarvis, there's fucking 90% of this marketplace that doesn't know everything he's done to try to save Ohio for the last 5+ years, right? And done a great job. Okay, there's no fucking fame. There's no pat on the back. You don't become popular over it. Okay, in fact, you get more haters, right? You get the fucking Legion assholes, okay, out there that, okay, as soon as you trip, okay, they've got 10 cameras on you to trip, okay, but they don't record the 5 miles that you walked with this weight on your back, okay, trying to provide a future for fucking smokers to get to vaping, right? They don't record that 10 miles with all that weight on your back. It's okay, but the second you slip, they're on you. Okay, so I love the fact, okay, that she's doing a show. So if I'm thankful for something, okay, it's that your show continues and that there is still hope. When I still see somebody like Shell comes back, it gives me renewed hope, okay, that if I just keep my fucking nose to the grindstone, okay, the passion of those people out there, like Jen or Jennifer Winston DeAngelis, okay, those people, okay, that still have that power, like the people that come on your show, okay, the people, Andrew, to see him still around. I was very surprised when I saw him. It's like, what? Oh, fuck, I know you. Where did I know you from? Oh, way back when you were, okay, a very annoying person. Let's just say that, okay. He said that line and it brought back shivers to me. Okay.
Yeah. Andrew, and did you see that Andrew is making us a wristband?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I saw the vape ring that had that coin saying from that unbelievable Judy. Yeah. And that was when Amanda was speaking in England that she said that, right?
Yeah. That was right after Amanda's speech.
Yeah.
That was right after Amanda's speech. But Andrew is actually making us a Son of Liberty Radio wristband. And it has our logo on it, and some other, because I make t-shirts now too. So this is one of my t-shirt graphics, and then obviously the Son of Liberty Radio, and then the pirate, because we're doing all pirate stuff, the hoist the black flag.
Nice.
We're not giving up, and if that means that we have to go
underground,
we're gonna do whatever we have to do. And one of our viewers sent me a check. And they asked to remain anonymous for $2,000 to help keep us abreast. I mean, that was substantially more than what we need to stay alive. But I was looking at what it would cost to set up a server so that we have our own place when we eventually, because Facebook is gatekeeping a lot of comments, innocuous comments. Like they, in one show 2 weeks ago, they blocked over 300 comments, and they were stuff like one of the viewers was saying good night to one of the people that had said that they were leaving in the chat room. One of the viewers got a 24-hour ban on Facebook for comments, and I looked at the comments, and they were all basically, nothing. There was no curse words. There was nothing threatening about them. There appeared to be no reason why that comment would have gotten blocked. And there was hundreds of these over like a period of 2 or 3 shows. So yeah, I'm telling people not to even go to Facebook, just to watch us on YouTube. And eventually YouTube will do the same thing. So, I was looking at what it would cost to set up a server somewhere that we could just have the video and a chat room. Doesn't have to be anything other than a video applet, like a window that you could watch the show.
And you should charge $1 for membership. Okay, that way it makes it a private. Well, hey, listen, in Canada, you know what I've had to do? I have a private video show that I've contracted Matt Cully for, right? I don't know if you know that. And it's called the Vape Vault. And we call it that because we put it on Vimeo and it's behind a paywall. Okay, you don't have to buy something for my distribution, but you have to sign up. So now I'm only communicating to clients, but anybody can sign up for it, okay, to watch it. But I have to, in Canada, okay, I have to put it behind a paywall. Look at, I don't know if you know my buddy Shy Bay, okay, and the show that him and Dave did. It was fucking great. And Facebook or YouTube just completely killed it.
Yeah.
Killed it.
Yeah.
Okay. Killed it, and Dave is an awesome kid, okay, and Shy is a good guy, so sponsoring that type of content, right, which costs money, you got to fucking, cameras, he was doing it right, what I mean, it was high definition, properly lit, okay, the whole, ball of wax, right, edited properly, and they shut him down. So when we did our thing, I contracted Matt Cully, okay, and it's basically like a retail support line, like basically we come up with themes about how retailers can still be successful, what it is to be a retailer, all that sort of stuff. But we in Canada, for me to operate that legally, I have to put it behind a paywall.
Wow.
Okay, because that's the only way legally that my lawyers say that I can prove that you should be 19 to work in a vape stop, and if you're doing so, then you're operating illegally. But I'm only talking to a business. I'm not talking to a person.
Right.
Okay. Right. So.
I mean, it's just crazy the amount of nonsense, and it has gotten progressively worse since like 2019.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know how liberating it is to be going into the food world with Hedison and not have any restraining fucking bullshit, that I have to talk about? Or not be able to talk about, the way I can market on social media with, they're embracing me, okay? You talk to Google and they're like, how can we help you? You talk to TikTok, I want your business, okay? Right? We're in vaping, like it's illegal to even talk to them. They, right? So, yeah, I'm looking forward to 2022, to be honest with you, just because I still have hope, okay? I'm doubling down with my charitable foundation, the Fana Foundation. Like we've been working for a year. I've had a team of 14 people working every Thursday night for a whole year to build, what has become, forget labor, about a $40,000 investment in a digital slot car track. But you should see that when you see it, because I'm going to do it pro. There's going to be a website, and it's basically raising money for our charities. And this subset fundraiser is called the Flavor Art Racing Team, Brighter Future for Kids. And we're basically inviting big brothers and big sister kids in, to race with their big brother or big sister. And then I'm going to take a whole bunch of corporate people, for some money to come out and race either with their kid or whatever, but literally logo up, like a Son of Liberty radio, Porsche or Ferrari, it's so easy to manila them out and then repaint them and then to put custom logo graphics back on them, right? So maybe you'll never own your own race team, but you can have your virtual miniature race team with whatever car that you can imagine. I just did up a stock car for FedEx, for a proposal that I have out to them. I just did a super cool old 1969 GTO for another customer with his logos on it. So it's like, I'm the type of guy that gets taken like about 4 times a year for about a $500 a round charity golf thing. And, I can't say no. If your pitch is good and your charity's good, when you get me on the phone, if you can get me on the phone through your network and my network, that's normally how it happens, because I don't even have a phone in my office, right? I try to, I got people gatekeeping my phone number, right? Literally, I do not have an office phone in my office, right? But if they get a hold of me, and like last year, I can think of 2 or 3 charities where it's like, I never even heard of you before, but fuck your pitch, your 5-minute pitch is so good. Yeah, you got $500. I'm not even going to come, right? I'm not even going to go to the golf tournament, okay? Because I don't have time to spend a day off during the week to go golfing. But here's $500. So I'm thinking, every guy likes cars. Even women love cars, okay? How about coming out and racing with your little daughter, okay, or your little son, okay? And you can big boy race for a while, and then, okay, the kids can race for a while. And I have basically it's every Saturday, the first Saturday of every month. All my employees come in and work, okay, to support the event. I have the police chief supporting it. He's sending out a police officer. Okay, so we have this one kind of sub event at the day where I have this little SRT Dodge Charger all done up like a cop car, and it's a little bit faster than everybody else. So they basically get a 10-second lead, and it's an elimination race. So he's going to come up and tag you, okay, and you're out, okay, okay. So it's really the last person I catch, right? So I've said this to every guy that I know who has not, okay, fantasized at some point in time about racing a cop and beating it, okay, right? Like when you ever get caught in that ticket, half of you says put on the brake, and half of you says fucking floor it, okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Right. Like, fuck it. I'm just going to race him. Okay. I'm going to get away from this cop. Right. So, here's these little kids all in their little Porsches and Ferraris and whatever cars they're driving. And there's this fucking faster cop car with a big bull bar in the front of it. Okay. That's coming up with lights and, there's lights and everything like that. Right. And, that's one of like the little mini events. Okay. Right. We have a Batman costume. So we have a Batmobile stock car, right? So Batman comes in, okay, and we're gonna.
Now he has to be faster than the cop car, though.
No. We actually have a bad guy's car. So one guy plays the bad guy, one guy plays. My employee in the Batman costume plays Batman, okay, and and you're the bad guy now, and Batman's after you, right? So we've come up with this great theme. Like we've spent like just tons of time building these unbelievable dioramas. Okay, I want kids to walk into that room when the lights are off and all the lights, little mini lights in the towns and the street lights, and there's a Starbucks. Okay, and I just want their mouth to drop and their eyes to go wide. And if you remember going to a department store and seeing animatronics at Christmas,
yeah,
okay, it was that a Texas thing like it is a Canadian thing.
Well, I wasn't here in Texas. I've lived all over the world.
Right, but you remember that experience as a kid,
yeah.
Right? Your parents taking you out to see some sort of big department store window, right? I want that sort of thing that I remember in my head, like it was yesterday, being 5, okay, and them to go, holy crap, this is so cool, right? And just like have the best day of their life, right? Because
that's awesome.
In my opinion, like Big Brothers and Big Sisters is one of our main charities domestically for kids, and then World Vision, okay, internationally for kids. We support the shit out of World Vision, you are a hero, okay, if you're willing to donate, okay, every other Saturday, for 5 years to raise a kid as a big brother or big sisters. That's a huge commitment, right? And the kid's not without problems. Okay, and you still got your own problems that you got to deal with. Now you got to deal with this kid's problems, okay, right? And try to work it through and be that mentor and be that hero to that kid. Well, you run out of shit to do, right? What are we going to do this Saturday? Fuck, I don't know. Okay, I got to do something more than letting him, sit in front of his tablet and play video games.
We already went to the zoo. We already did this. We already did that.
Yeah, what can we do now?
You run out of things eventually, yeah.
Yeah, right? So I'm thinking, it's putting cash back into the charity. It's taking cash from people that are going to have a fun time. They're going to say thank you for letting me spend that $500 to $1,000 with you.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. That was the best experience. I'm glad. And it's corporate money anyway, so fuck off. Okay. You have the money. It's not like it's coming out of your pocket type of shit. Right. Okay. So and everybody has either a nephew or a kid or a grandkid. Right. Okay. You know, somebody like Kevin with his little grandkid that he loves so much, right?
Oh my God, Logan is hilarious.
Okay, he would like it would be like an absolute blast. Kevin would have a good time because we're drinking a couple beers, okay, and having a good time, and then he's also making an experience for his kid that they'll never forget, right? You know, so
yeah, that's good stuff.
Those are some of the things that we look forward to, and I look forward to hopefully being able to go back to Italy because I haven't gone to Italy for now.
Well,
okay, 2.5 years.
If you go, I have a big enough suitcase that I can fit in, and you can, take me along, because I have eaten my way across Italy, and I know there's great food in Italy.
Yeah, and most people think that they understand that, but it's like, going to one of those famous countries where the culinary experience really is different. My son can't eat pizza anymore.
Yeah, because it's a pale reflection.
Yeah, after you've gone to Naples, okay, and like literally just, gorged yourself, right? I mean, night after night, okay, too many 12 slicers, okay, you have a gluten intolerance after the experience type of thing, right? Yeah. Anyway.
I'm trying to remember where I was at. They had gelato, like every possible, the best ice cream you've ever had. I mean, calling it ice cream is sort of an insult.
Oh, totally.
But yeah, I mean, everybody thinks that it's all spaghetti and lasagna and pizza, but they have some of the most amazing gelatos and ice creams and desserts on the planet there.
Yeah. And I'm a big rum fan. Like, as far as alcohol goes, one of the things that I'll spend huge money on is rum. And there's a thing in Italy called a baba, which is like a rum little small round cake, right? That's literally just completely drenched in rum, right? Oh my God, I love that.
Yeah.
Little known fact, okay? Do you know that one of our largest food categories in Italy is gelato? Okay, and what we call forced fruit here as a flavor in North America is actually called Frutti di Bosco, which is the number one. We have the number one flavor in gelato in Italy, right? We own that flavor, okay, and we sell metric tons in volume of that flavor in Italy for a very famous flavor category that we own called Frutti di Bosco, or fruit of the forest, right? Which is basically it's a combination of strawberry, anything that would grow on the ground, strawberry, raspberry, blueberry, those types of, maybe some currant, I think. Right?
Yeah, there's some forest fruit in this, actually.
What is that?
This is one of our friends, Leanna. Actually, I'm sort of one of those weirdos that still likes anise.
Oh, I love anise too.
And this is a mentholated berry anise berry liquid that they make for me.
I'm actually coming up with a Pernod flavor.
Oh.
This next year.
With water.
Okay. Yeah. That's like those are those like subtle flavor spices, okay, that like anise that can be used in food or even in vape very effectively, right?
Yeah. Right? People, there was a time when anise was the thing. Black licorice and anise. Every company had to have one because one guy made a fairly popular flavor that I still say tastes like NyQuil, but everybody loved it.
We helped a customer 3 years ago develop, and I think it was the only guy that did it well, or even did it, which was a red licorice.
Oh yeah,
right, and it was delicious.
I don't recall anybody that ever had one of those. Actually,
I don't think he got to national acclaim or anything. He was one of those regional guys, right? Quite frankly, some of those small regional guys really had the best recipes. Did I hear the Plume Room shut down?
Well, I don't know what. I mean, there are troops in the room. Five Ponds is working with them on the Legacy line.
Yeah.
And I know that they're pushing. I think they're doing aromatics. I'm not quite sure. Troop could answer in the chat room, or he might reach out to you in private message. And I know that they're no longer shipping product.
Yeah, I heard something about them. Okay, negative, but those are the kind of legacy companies. Okay, and it's interesting you bring up Jay, because I've been working with Jay because we have 2 or 3 of the clients that are huge flavoring recipes, right? One being Randy from Poet, right? God, like those are the legacy juices, man. Okay, yeah. Like
my green screen's messing with it, but yeah.
Like I don't even know who owns the Plume Room. I have no friendship or.
Well, Troop and Andrea. Troop is in the chat room. He's the.
Oh yeah, great.
He says for the most part they're closed down, but they're selling botanicals now.
Yeah, I mean that's sad, because those were for me being a long-term juice guy, right? I remember those companies so well, right? Like I was happy to see AVE coming back into the marketplace with original formulas, right? Boba's tasted like Boba's again. Yeah, great companies.
Yeah, right? I mean this is probably the best thing that the Plume Room ever made, in my opinion. It's called Candied Cavendish. And it's sad now. I do have a supply, but that's eventually going to.
Who introduced me to that liquid was. James, Uncle Dagger. What was his last name? James. Fuck, I should know his last name.
I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah, so am I. Super good, because he shares with me another passion, right? Right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we were actually friends in the knife world, which is another hobbyist world, right?
Yeah.
Before we were friends in the vape world, right?
Well, that's why he's called Uncle Dagger.
That's what his little nephews and nieces were always scared of him, because he always carried a big knife, right? Okay, that's not a knife. That's a fucking machete. Okay.
It's not an. It's
what is that? Something like part of your zombie survival kit?
Actually, I was a member of one of those like monthly. We're going to send you a box things, and there was one month where I didn't pay attention. And they sent me that. And I'm like, well, I'll use it.
Yeah. I mean, home defense. Okay. That would be very nice to hack off an arm or leg.
Yeah. Well, when the zombies come, I will be protected.
I'm just talking about some idiot that fucking gets into your house.
Oh, well, I have that. I have guns for that.
Yeah. Okay.
This is Texas.
Yeah. We don't have those in Canada. Although I wish we did. Right.
I'm trying to. I had a really cool knife to show, but I don't know what I did with it. It's a knife from Poland. It's a lever lock knife. That's really awesome. But
hey, buddy, I gotta get out of here. Actually,
yeah.
I like Kevin have a wife with things to do. But Happy New Year, man. Okay,
you too.
And keep it alive in 2022 for me and everybody else that comes out on Friday nights. I whether I talk or say hi. Sometimes I'm in the audience for about half an hour, but I'm generally beyond
shadowing. You're just
I'm playing a video game and just listening to you, right? Okay, so I've got multiple screens and I've got a video game up over here, and I'm just listening to you over here, right? Yeah, and then I'll finally go, fuck, I haven't even said hi, and I'll come into the room and just go, hey guys, how are you, right? And then just go back to listening.
I've been here the whole time. I heard you.
Yeah, I'm listening. Okay. Anyway, buddy. Okay, keep it up. Okay.
Thanks for coming on, dude.
You were one of the things I can be thankful for and look forward to in 2022 , buddy.
Well, I don't know that we're gonna get some shenanigans, I'm sure. I mean,
buddy, hey, I'm not giving up. Okay, Safada is revving up. Okay, to support state chapters again. We've added some really strong people. Okay, Savage, their compliance officer, just came on board as a board member, and we're still trying to fill 2 more seats, but okay, I'm not giving up, right? Like I'm fucking in it to win it, and I'm in it to the end, right? Yeah, you gotta kill me before I stop, right?
Yeah, as long as there's people still smoking cigarettes, we're gonna do what we got to do. We're never gonna have those years like we had in 2014, 2015, 2013, where we grew and were able to massively engage with and get people to adopt this technology ever again, as far as but it just means that we're going to have to fight in different ways. I don't imagine that there's going to be any massive number of vapors that are created on a convenience store model. It's just never going to happen. That just means we have to work harder and figure out ways to engage with and each and every one of us that you may not like it, but going and hanging out in the smoking area is the best place to show people that there's something other than lighting a piece of paper filled with tobacco to achieve the goal. And my goal, I have no desire to ever quit nicotine, ever. It helps me. It does good things.
Me too. Nicotine is good for me.
And everybody's different. Some people will want to quit, and that good for you, but there is a way to get your nicotine without killing yourself. And that's the message that we should be, talking about. You talked about Shell before you go. You talked about Shell, and I said, I think we need to completely change the conversation, because the conversation has always been about vaping. I said, we have a medical community. We have doctors all over the world. 70% of doctors believe that nicotine causes cancer. I said, we need to change the conversation to nicotine. We need to demonize nicotine, and then we'll worry about the delivery method later. But she's like, well, we can't do that because then we'd be pushing a medical blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, no. You don't have to push any medical stuff. You just need to push the fact that this is the facts about nicotine. This is what nicotine is. This is what it does. Here are some studies that show that nicotine is being used to treat people with Parkinson's disease and dementia and mental illness and Crohn's disease, all these things. So nicotine does these things. If nicotine was as addictive and evil and causes cancer, then all these people that are using medical patches would be getting skin cancer.
Yeah.
And there would be people robbing pharmacies to get nicotine patches. So let's talk about nicotine. Let's explain to the world the science of nicotine and try to de-brainwash people about what nicotine is. And then we'll talk about the different delivery methods that are available.
Yeah. In Canada, it's going to be a very interesting year. And one of the things that I learned, and I listen well to professionals, lobbyists and lawyers and people, is, and it's a quotable line that I have said in front of Health Canada, in front of Parliament a number of times, is science is going to catch up with vaping. Science is catching up with vaping, right? Have you read Colin Mendelssohn's book yet? That's Stop Smoking, Start Vaping yet?
Yes, I mean, he's been on the show.
Oh, yeah. Super good guy. That is the advent, that I see happening. Like more and more, slowly they drop their guard. Slowly they don't give a fuck anymore. And slowly but surely we win the war. Those are the things that are going to change where things go in the future, right? So.
Yeah, I mean, we've got Cliff Douglas and the SRNT 15, all these scientists and tobacco control people that are finally stepping out and saying, we need to think about this with more intelligence. We need to address this. We need to be smarter about this. And eventually, I mean, but there's going to be the dark ages between now and the awakening.
Yeah, but the awakening is happening sooner than you think.
Well,
one of the best things that I did with CVA when I was the president is I ensured that our federal law, the TVPA, the Tobacco and Vaping Products Act, because in Canada, remember, the vaping is not a tobacco,
No.
Okay, we were the only people in the world to change a National Tobacco Act, okay, at a federal level in Canada. But one of the things that I put in there was a 2-year mandatory review, right? And I put that in, and it was a very easy rationalization to sell to politicians, okay? If it turns out that you've put in a regulation and vaping is worse than we thought, okay, you need a safeguard. But if it's better than you thought, okay, right? Okay, so it's fair. It's a flip of a coin, right? So you have a protection, but we also have a protection that if you're putting in regulations, okay, that don't really apply to the science, okay, as the science is now showing, right? Because less and less kids are vaping now. It's no longer the thing, right? And now we have to actually go into a scientific review and look at the exact facts. So we're starting in February. My executive director is a guy named Daryl Tempest, super good guy, really good guy if you ever want to have a guy on the show, okay? 25-year, okay, senior politico, right? He's both our executive director and our lobbyist, great guy. And so he's going to be literally going in front of a scientific council. It's called the HESA Committee in Health Canada. And we're going to literally re-review, okay, stop to start, everything that is vaping in current science, okay, which takes out all the bullshit and all the media and everything like that and forces them to, okay, re-review how we should be viewing vaping in Canada, and should we be viewing it more like England, right?
Yeah. I mean, are they doing in-person testimonial in Canada now?
Yeah.
But are they still allowing remote testimonial?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
See, one of the things that I mean, obviously, before you go, I know that you said you had stuff to do, but one of the things that I've put a lot of effort in is getting scientists on the show. You know, getting people that are smart and are smart about vaping, whether they use vaping or not, to come on the show. So we've had, doctors of public health. We had an astrophysicist on the show. Pharmacist on the show, blah, 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 all these people. And the one thing I said to them is, we need to build like a dream team of scientists that are because these are all, these guests are all over the world. We've had New Zealand on, we had Mexico on, we've had India, we've had all these different people from all over the world that are scientists. But the issue is we're willing to testify.
The issue, Patrick, that we've experienced through COVID is you can have all the scientists in the world, whether politicians want to politicize following science or not is another thing, right? That's been our problem. They don't listen to
obviously here in the States, obviously there's a certain party that is push we're the party of science as their mantra, but by and large tend to side against science when it comes to this topic. Yeah. I don't want to say this is an R or a D thing, but it is trending that the people that are making the anti-science comments are particularly the people that are, the party of science. Now there's guys on the right, there's Republicans that are anti-vaping because of the way it looks or whatever, they're prohibitionists, because I don't want people to think that it's only the Democrats that are anti-vaping. It's just that their reason for being anti-vaping is different. Anti-science. It goes against the science, whereas the Republicans that are anti-vaping are just doing it because they're afraid you're having a good time. But anyway,
thanks. Watch Canada this year. It's going to be an interesting year in Canada. Okay, and we, will survive through this. Okay, we just got to push. It was never meant to be easy. I was sitting with a cannabis lobbyist one time, right, lawyer, right, and I was talking to him. He was very, very up on the whole vaping subject. He said, "Sean, listen, okay, what you guys have accomplished in a mere 10 years, despite all of the bullshit that you've gone through, is nothing compared to cannabis."
No.
Right? They've been fighting for 70 years. Okay? If you think that any of those, bullshit commercials that they put out on vaping, okay, you have to remember what they were doing in the 20s and 30s against cannabis, right? You
In
know,
the 50s,
the devil's
reefer madness.
reefer madness, right? Okay, you know, we're going through nothing compared to what cannabis has gone through for 70 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, but people have prevailed, and look, you know, they're turning the page, right? I think that Biden will federally legalize, okay, to get the tax money at some point in time. They're going to federally, whether it's Biden or whoever else,
he'll try.
At some point in time, okay, they're going to have to try, right?
Yeah,
because
he'll try, but I mean, during the Obama presidency, they tried, and it didn't happen.
Yeah, they
just don't have the votes on the other side.
They weren't trillions of dollars in debt.
Well, we were.
Yeah, but you're worse now. Okay.
Yeah.
You're way worse now, right?
Yeah, well, no, they're just going to print more money. It'll be all right.
Okay,
I mean, I'm afraid that Biden's not smart. I mean, Biden will just. I mean, obviously, I think Biden thinks that if they just make more money, that it'll solve all the problems. I'm afraid of. I mean, he's 20 years ago, he was a sharp fella. 20 years later, I work with demented patients every day. I see.
Yeah, clinically, you have the perspective to see something.
I see things. You know, the word salad sometimes. Those are all signs of, you know, degenerative neurological change, and I see it. You know, the way he moves, the way he walks. Those are all cardinal signs of, you know, end stage dementia. Not even beginning stage dementia. I mean, so yeah, I'm hoping that he can just make it to the end of his term.
Yeah,
because the
alternative and not let Kamala take over.
Oh my God, the alternative is so scary.
Yeah,
so scary. Yeah. But anyway,
hey, buddy, have a great night. Okay,
thanks.
To all your audience. Okay, it's almost like a club because it's basically the same guys. Paul. Okay, all these guys I don't know, I've never met in my life and have no experience with, but it's like a lot of the same people every week. It's a club. Okay?
Well, the live show is the audio podcast doesn't tell me who, but you know, there's like 5,000 people all over the world.
Yeah, I'm talking about the people that get into chat on live.
I want to meet them though. I want to meet those because there's like it shows me the map of where they're all at, and there's people from like, you know, Russia. There's people from Eastern Europe. There's a couple viewers that watch from Africa, different parts of Africa.
Yeah,
I haven't gotten.
It's funny seeing all the British and Australians, right? Yeah.
Oh, I know all those guys, the Australians and the Kiwis.
But have you met them in person?
No. I mean, no. I want to go to New Zealand, so somebody wants to, send me a ticket. I'll go.
Okay. DHL. We're gonna just pay for a DHL package. Okay. We're gonna send Patrick
as long as it's a big
suitcase.
one. I gotta have room to stretch out.
Okay.
Because I'm a big boy. You know.
Buddy, have a great New Year's Eve. Okay, and let's have a great 2022 together.
Let's try. That's all we can do. Thanks, Sean. See, I told you we would talk about vaping. We always revert back to form. I just filled this damn thing and it's leaking. It's pissing me off. There's supposed to be a little foam pad and it's supposed to absorb it, but this new atomizer just leaks a little bit every time I fill it up. And then it's okay. But yeah, New Year's. I know Desangles said that she would come in, but she hasn't come in. She hasn't said, "Hey, send me the link and stuff." So, back to what we were talking about before. We were talking about the downfall of humanity, the inhumanity of humanity. And I have a funny yet frightening video to share. There's actually two. These are airplane videos. You know, people are acting weird on video, but yeah, let's play this one. So this one is an airline passenger complaining about another airline passenger.
100% sure. I saw it. Stay calm. Please stay calm. I saw the cat.
Okay, so this woman This woman is over here. She is apparently breastfeeding something under. He claims that he saw a cat. So let's just continue.
I'm a very understanding person, but that is crossing a line.
It's all right. It's all right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Ma'am,
It's the dander. He's got
Just
dander.
weird, and I just don't want to be sitting next to someone who is breastfeeding a cat on a plane.
So he says that he saw a cat under that blanket, that she is breastfeeding a cat, which in itself would be disturbing. And how are you going to breastfeed a cat on a plane? I mean, that just sounds like maybe he's lost his mind. Trying to do too many things at once over here. Here, let me do this. Yeah, there we go. All right, let me do that. All right. So anyway, let's do this.
It is a 5-hour flight. It is disgusting. It is so weird.
I don't have a cat.
It is a cat.
Why are you at work?
Could you show us?
So now the flight attendant is saying, show us. And she's like, I don't have a cat. Just show us.
Show us?
Just stay calm. Everyone stay calm.
Now
I really don't know what to do.
Looks like she's removing her memory from the, she's situating herself.
You want to see?
It cannot
can you just,
be a cat.
If you want to invade my privacy and do it yourself, you can take that liability.
Oh my gosh.
You want to take on that liability? You want to take the liability of doing this right now? Please.
Well, do you have a cat or do you have a baby?
I don't have a cat.
Or you have a baby?
I do not have a cat.
So she says, I do not have a cat. And he's asking, do you have a cat or a baby? She says, I do not have a cat. Can I remove the blanket?
Can I remove the blanket?
If you would like to take that liability of touching me and violating my privacy, you do it.
May I remove the blanket?
I'm not saying yes.
do it. I'm gonna do it.
I'm not saying no.
Please.
We're not doing anything. I would like somebody. You're filming this, right?
Yeah.
Great.
We're gonna check with her.
Great. Just know that you're being filmed doing this, and this is
Maybe
very
you should
well a
do it.
HIPAA violation.
Should I do it?
Not allowed.
Okay, now she says it's a HIPAA violation, which it is not a HIPAA violation, by the way. Just, y'all don't understand what a HIPAA violation is.
A plane?
But you can't breastfeed
breastfeed
a
a cat on a
cat,
plane.
whether it's on a plane or not.
So this guy's like, he's like, you can't breastfeed a cat whether you're on a plane or not.
Holding my baby.
Please, I'm asking you.
I'm holding
Just
my
show
baby.
me that you have a baby.
Go ahead. Take the blanket off if you're that sure.
So she says, take the blanket off if you're sure, right? Like, gave him permission. That's just part one. Actually, there's like 4 or 5 parts to this video. I only found the 2 relevant pieces. So what is the over and under on whether or not this is a baby or a cat or something else? If you think it's a baby, put a 1 in the chat room. If you think it's a cat, put a 2 in the chat room. And if you think it's something else, put a 3 in the chat room. Let's see if there's anybody is able to predict what this is, or to at least say whether they think it's a cat or a human or something else. So Mallory and Troop both say it's something else. Jennifer and Ian say it's a cat. Victor says it's something else. So nobody so far has voted on a human. Nobody has voted human yet. Okay. So there's not that many people in here now listening to this nonsense. But here, let me go ahead and show you. This is the reveal.
It's on a plane or not.
I'm holding my baby.
Please, I'm asking you. Just show me that you have a baby.
Go ahead. Take the blanket off if you're that sure. He's filming you do this, by the way.
Yes, you gave him permission. He will take.
I
the
never gave him
blanket off.
permission.
You said go ahead and take the blanket off. So
It's a cat. It is a cat. I told you. I told you.
It's a lynx.
What?
She has a
It's
cat.
an emergency service animal, and it's a lynx, not a cat. There's a big difference.
There's a lynx. It's a
What
link.
is
It's
that?
not.
Is
It's
that
a
is
link.
that
It's
real?
not a cat.
Is that a
I
real
don't
cat?
know a cat in your face.
Whoa!
Get away.
Sit back down. Is that a real cat?
Get away.
Yeah, can we just is it a real cat?
Is it alive?
What is it?
It's an emergency service emotional support animal.
Oh.
I believe that's
Well, that's
part of the
allowed.
regulation.
Yeah,
That's allowed.
that's allowed.
Okay.
That's all.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the eyes are.
Wow.
This is the downfall of human civilization right here. That there's a crazy person who is breastfeeding a stuffed, and I'm quite positive that is not a taxidermied stuffed mounted cat / lynx. It was a stuffed animal. So I can't give credit to anybody that voted for cat. Three something else is more accurate to this situation. That is embarrassment. That is proof that we have very poor mental health care in our country. Just saying. So I sent DeSangles the link to the chat because I haven't spoken to her in a while. She said send it to me via private message, which I did, and she still has not appeared. It should work on your phone. I'm just saying it should work. But if nobody, now I just saw that she read her message. Let's see if she can actually show up. I do. I'm quite frightened that I can see Jennifer's blonde hair when she says happy birthday or happy New Year's to Ian Thomas in her YouTube. What do they call that? Avatar? The blonde hair. Jennifer, really? I can't blame the pandemic on that nonsense because nobody was yelling about masks. This was all about the woman breastfeeding a stuffed animal on a plane. Just saying.
That was crazy.
That was
How do you like my hair?
I didn't you hear me making fun of your blonde hair?
This
but that's
isn't
more
blonde,
gray
honey.
now.
It's
That's more
silver.
gray. But on your profile picture over here, it looks blonde.
Yeah, that was the transitioning. I was just trying not to have to color my roots, but
Well, why don't
I
you
mean,
that's all natural now, or did you actually
this is all
your hair?
No, this is all the center is natural. I still have some color left on the edges,
Tips,
but yeah, this is natural at the top.
So at your age, you're prematurely.
I've been gray since I was
showing
30.
your age, but you're only like 25 now.
I just turned 50 2 days ago.
You're older than me
by a couple days, right?
You're like well, my 50th is not until April, so yeah. I see Joseph Magaro from Africa is in the chat room. Hello, brother Joseph.
I actually cut off as much as I could so that I can get it as close to natural as possible. Half my family is divided. So half the people are saying, color it. And the other half are like, you can rock that color.
Well, you can. You can rock any color.
Oh, I know. This is a canvas. My head is a canvas. I can color my hair whatever the hell I want to.
Mallory says that you're 25 plus shipping and handling.
25 plus shipping and handling. Yeah. I'm actually celebrating my 25th anniversary of my 25th birthday.
That is a good way to look at it. That's true. What are you doing for New Year's?
I'm deciding which pajamas to wear to the living room.
Well, make sure it's the. Is it cold there? Is it cold? You're in one of the
nice.
Carolinas, right?
Yeah, it's like 65. Actually, I think I'm going to a turkey shoot. They have a band and something and a turkey shoot going on, and that's not really my thing. But
Now,
it's something to do
you
on a
actually
Friday.
shoot the turkey, do you have to pluck it and stuff? Or
I am not going to be doing the shooting. I'm going to be doing the drinking.
well, don't drink and drive.
Somebody's, well, I don't know who's driving tonight. We'll have one of the kids' BDDs.
Don't drink and drive because
well, I don't
bad.
get drunk and drive. How about that? I don't blow. I don't drink enough to blow over the limit.
Oh, see, I could have gone. So I'm glad you added over the limit at the end there, because that would have gone really wrong and bad. Did you get anything good for Christmas?
Yes, my daughter brought me a Le Creuset brazier. That thing is like $400.
A what?
She said it's called Le Creuset is the brand, and it's a brazier.
It's like a brazier. Is that like you?
No, it's a cooking. It's like a Dutch oven, but it's shorter, and it's cast iron and then enameled. So it weighs 1,000,000 pounds. So she said, make sure I add it to the will because she wants it back when I can't use it anymore. She says, as a matter of fact,
that's really dark. That's really dark. Here's your Christmas present. But by the way, when you die, I want it back.
Yeah, she says, as a matter of fact, you don't have to wait till die because at some point you won't be able to carry it anymore because it's so heavy. And then I'll just take it back.
Man,
and you won't be allowed to be cooking at that point.
Yeah, Ian says don't drop it because you can crack the enamel on those.
Yes.
So yeah, make sure that you have a good grip on it.
Yeah, it's really heavy. It's really heavy because it's large. It's a 6 quart or 10 quart. I don't remember. It's really large.
So
that was my favorite gift.
What are your family traditions for New Year's? Do you have because
oh, we do. We have crazy traditions in Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
So we have to clean our house.
Yeah.
Christmas Eve, sweep everything, throw the water outside after we mop.
Yeah.
So it can't be in the house.
Gotta get rid of all the evil spirits.
And gotta throw away the broom and the mop and buy new ones on the first. So throwing the baby out with the bathtub.
Yeah, yeah. So, but food wise, are there special dishes
that
you guys?
Grapes.
Okay.
So 12 grapes at midnight, each one with a wish. What else was it? That's the only one that I know happens like clockwork every year. I think that's it. It's the grapes is the main thing. You just eat 12 grapes.
So here you have to have pork. That's like a sign of prosperity. Got to have pork. Got to have cabbage because that's money.
Oh, over here in North Carolina they do black-eyed peas.
And black-eyed peas is the third one. That's good luck.
The black-eyed peas is the money here. And I don't know about cabbage. Cabbage, yeah, I think that they do
Irish
cabbage.
thing, and maybe that's the Irish thing. But so my wife, being Filipino, and this is what always makes me laugh because the Filipinos are some of the most
Sorry, I'm still working while we're doing this, so every once in a while you'll watch me look away from the screen.
You're working on New Year's Eve?
Yes.
What's the word I'm looking for? Superstitious. They have superstitions. So
so do we.
They can't trim their nails after dark. Like there's like some sort of evil spirit will enter your body if you trim your nails after dark. But on New Year's, they have most of the same food traditions, pork and stuff like that. But at midnight, they have to run around the house and turn all the lights on, open all the closet doors, and make all this noise to scare all the evil spirits out of the house.
Oh, we do that too. We have to go outside and
I have to go and open the garage door and start the cars to get rid of all the evil. Like every year, right at the stroke of midnight, it's like making noisemakers and blowing sounds and open every door and turning every light on and chasing all the evil spirits out of the house. And I'm like,
yeah, we do similar
so you're just gonna,
stuff.
the first time you open the door, they're gonna come right back in, though. I mean,
no, they don't, because you threw away the dirty water and.
Oh no, that's different. we obviously have to start the year out with a clean house, but we start every day out with a clean house because I'm very fastidious and obsessive compulsive about the house. So there's not a whole lot of that has to happen. They
Yeah,
don't
but you have to throw away the broom and the mop because you've
they don't
been
do that.
sweeping.
Yeah,
you've been sweeping all the dirt. You know, the last dirt of 2021 gets swept out tonight.
Well, that would
And
be the
my dog
the Swiffer. That would just be the Swiffer pad that gets thrown away.
Yeah, we still mop. I still use a mop, real mop that gets wrung out because I'm weird, and I don't feel my house is clean unless I have soaked the floor, which my husband says that's why our floors get popping
a whole
up.
bottle of that cleaning stuff that the Swiffer shoots out.
Yeah, no, you gotta wet the floor.
Well, the floor is wet though.
And then after it's wet, you have to wring the mop really dry, and then you have to go over that.
But every time you put that mop back into the water.
No, you got to get clean water to get
between every.
No, you mop first. You get all the dirt up. Then when it's done mopping, you pour that water out. You get clean water. You put it in there to wash your mop out, and now with a wrung mop, you dry your floor.
Yeah, it's like that's like taking a bath. You're just like soaking in the dirty water.
I'm just crazy.
I know. I can tell. So, what are there any resolutions that you're
yes.
resolving?
Be kind. Yeah, be kind. Well, I've been doing a lot of reading and self-searching. You know, every one of us has somebody in the family somewhere that has some sort of substance abuse disorder, substance dependence disorder, even if it's medical prescription, something that they have. And I've learned a lot about that in this last year. And, I've always been such an advocate of harm reduction and stuff like that with vaping that I just dove down a rabbit hole that I had never dove down before with harm reduction and other kind of things. Well, I learned about this thing called the drama triangle, right? And when I learned about that, I learned that everybody has a base starting point with that. And mine happens to be the rescuer, which then attracts all the kind of people that need help into my life. So that puts me in a position all the time where it's very draining because I'm always helping somebody. It somehow feels
the codependency trap.
Yeah. And somehow that fills some sort of void in me. So I've been working on that. So being kind to myself and stop being the one to fix somebody else's problem, but rather become more of a coach. So this next year, I plan on doing more coaching than actual trying to give them the solution. It's more working on myself than anything else. Just the way I approach people that come to me to help them with their problems.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get it. I get it.
So my resolution is to keep working on myself. And I'm very kind, and I'm one of those people that is generally very giving, and I give a lot of my time, so it's very exhausting sometimes. But I don't usually mind it until I learned that really I might be doing them more harm than good by being so giving. So I'm not just exhausting, but I'm also not really helping because I'm giving them solutions instead of helping them learn how to solve it themselves.
Yeah. Well,
so it's working on myself.
You can't fall into the trap of always being the caregiver,
Yeah, and that's me. It just is who I am, but I just have to do it in a different way. So one of the things they say is don't change who you are, just change the approach you take on how to do it.
Yeah.
People will still depend on you. I'm still fulfilling a need that I have myself, but it'll be in a more healthy way for everybody involved.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
I am about to finish this and then log out for a little bit, call it a lunch break.
Woo-hoo.
Actually, as soon as I'm done working for the day. So, of course, I wanted to work as long as I could early on so that maybe I could get done by 2 o'clock and get the heck out of here. but it doesn't look promising. So I think.
Well, you're at home though. You're where are you going to get
What
out of
does-
here too?
Well, it doesn't matter if you're at home, if you're a slave in front of a computer screen, like I am right now. Like I'm talking to you on the phone, so it's kind of convenient, right? Because I could do this. But at the same time, I'm still paying sort of attention to work and not able to just put the computer down and just do whatever I want. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's still work. It's still a full work day. And sometimes it's actually, which I just closed it down.
I just
Close it down.
while you were talking, I just paid AT&T for my internet because I just got a thing saying, "Did you forget to pay your bill?" See, I can multitask.
You have to have
too.
all your bills paid before midnight too, because you can't be in debt.
Well, I'm going to be in debt.
I'm going to
no
be in
way
debt too, but at least the bills will be current.
That the bank still owns the house and my car.
Yeah, the bank still owns my car, but not my house.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my wife and I, how long have we been here? Maybe 10 years. We haven't paid it off yet.
That's normal. Usually it takes 30, right?
15.
Oh, that's what my husband did too. That's why our house is paid.
Yeah. We're, we don't, I don't have a single credit card.
Oh shit. I did. I have,
I don't have a credit card. The wife has credit cards, but she is, also obsessive compulsive and pays them off every month. Never spend more than what you have. She likes them because she gets miles.
I do too. As a matter of fact, I went to Texas. I was in Texas for Thanksgiving. I was in near Austin.
That's only about 2.5 hours north of me.
And I got my car towed at the Alamo. We went to the Alamo.
Yeah.
My husband
that's only an hour north of me.
Well, we went to the Alamo and we did the whole route thing. Well, it was a caravan of 3 cars going out there, right? My sister was ahead and we had an appointment to go into the church. And we drove out there and my sister got there first. So she called us and she's like, I got us in. You know, we were late for the appointment because for some God knows what reason, the highways were jam-packed. I'm talking about a drive that should have taken us about an hour. Took us 2.5 hours to get there. It was crazy. So we get there and my sister got off. So we're driving our rental and my brother-in-law is driving the minivan and my sister's driving her truck. She got there first. She got out. She was at the Alamo in line. She pulled some bullshit story of why we were late. And she texts us and she's like, okay, I got us. Just come in the line. We parked the cars and just left. We did not pay the parking.
Oh.
We all just exited the cars and started running that way. Didn't pay the parking. We spent the entire day there. When we got back outside, the only car in the parking lot was my sister. And my brother-in-law says, where the hell's my minivan? And then we looked and we're like, where's our rental? $250 later each. We got our cars back.
You know,
it was a hell of a day.
One of my favorite restaurants in the entire world is just like a block away from the Alamo.
What's it called?
Fogo de Chao.
Fogo de Chao.
It's a Brazilian steakhouse. And if you've never been, this is amazing. So you pay like $35 or $40 a person. You go and you sit, and they have like a little appetizer bar there with like, kind
of like Texas to Brazil,
something like that, I'm sure. And they give you a card, and it's green on one side and red on the other side, and they bring out like family style, like side dishes, potatoes and vegetables and stuff. And then you flip that thing over to green and these guys come running out of the kitchen with skewers of different kinds of meats. And they'll say, this is chicken, or this is lamb, or this is sirloin steak, or this is ribeye steak or whatever, and they'll say, "How do you want it?" Because on the skewer, depending on where it is on the skewer, is how done it is, and they'll just slice off until you tell them to stop. We'll just keep slicing meat.
That sounds delicious. We
and,
went to some restaurant that was overseeing the bay or something.
There's no bay. Are you talking about the walk, the river walk? Somewhere on the river walk then.
Well, we went to the river walk as well, but we went to some restaurant. It was closer to Austin.
Oh.
That was up on a hill, and you could see a whole big river. It was beautiful out there. It's some.
But
It's some.
the funny thing is,
So.
the funny thing is that the kid comes and he's got ribeye, and he says, "How would you like it?" And I said, "Rare." I said, "For me, you could put that steak on the fire for 2 minutes on each side and bring it to me, and I would be happy." So about 10 minutes later, he comes running up with this skewer of meat, and he said, "I did what you told me to do." And I had forgotten that I had made a smart aleck, comment about the rareness of meat. And my nephew, he says, 2 minutes on each side. I was like, "Oh, right here." Just. And the people in the adjoining tables that weren't with our group looked horrified that but by the time the guy had walked around our table, there was none of it left. Everybody at our table wanted the ultra rare steak. But
yeah, I like it. I like 4 minutes on each side. Thank you very much. I like to have about a centimeter worth of brown on it.
I want a good sear. That's really all I want. I want it to be warm. I don't. It doesn't have.
I want the center to be pink. I want it to be pretty red in the center, but I want a good centimeter of brown.
Yeah.
Of seared.
So at Thanksgiving and Christmas, I did prime rib.
I saw the pictures. They looked good.
And the Christmas one was perfect. The Thanksgiving one was a little overdone for me. But my wife, the day after Christmas, we had errands to run. And she's like, "Oh, let's go to, I have a gift card for Texas Roadhouse, which is a steakhouse. It's a chain." And I was like, "But we had steak." "Okay, fine. Fine. I'll eat steak every day. No problem." First thing she orders is prime rib. And I'm like, okay, prime rib. Okay. I was like, I have turned her into a carnivore.
She was just still missing your prime rib.
I've turned her into a carnivore. First, she didn't drink coffee. She didn't drink coffee. And she was not a meat eater when we got married. And now she's
my husband is a hunter.
She drinks as much coffee as I do.
My husband's a hunter, and this year he's actually had a really good venison year. Not only has he had a good venison year, but when bear season was in, he also was able to shoot us a bear. But this
Bear's
usually a lot of it depends because it is. So let's finish my story. Okay. So usually we have our venison processed at somewhere in one of the processing plants here that'll go ahead and cut it into steaks or whatever you want. Well, this year he decided we're going to do it all ourselves. We are not sending it there because the last 2 years it's been kind of how it comes back. And he bought a steak cuber and he got the machine to make the hamburger, and we've done it all ourselves. This year's deer, the venison, has been so super good that we will likely never get it processed anywhere else again. But we're going to be really sad when we're out of venison.
I've never ever not butchered my own animal before.
We butcher it, but we don't process it ourselves. Ground deer. Yeah. You do it yourself?
Yeah.
We're lazy. We're
KitchenAid mixer with a meat grinder attachment.
We have so my husband's a builder. He builds houses, and he has built several houses for one of the restaurant owners here in town. So he's actually got a commercial grade meat grinder, and we didn't have a commercial grade Huber, but now we have like the in between commercial and the restaurant version of it.
Yeah,
But it takes 4 people to get that done.
You know what a cuber is?
What?
Sharp knife.
No. Are you kidding? Not with that much meat. We have over 300 pounds of meat that we have processed.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
year. No.
I'm gonna have to get the photo album down. There's a photo album of us. All of my cousins are like a year or a year and a half apart, and there's a picture of us standing at a stainless steel table when we're like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like
Oh,
this.
my kids went missing in action when we started doing this.
We're all holding butcher knives and covered in deer blood, like chopping up meat.
My kids went missing in action. So it's me, my husband, my father-in-law, and my husband's aunt that have done all the work on this amount of meat. I mean, and you got to figure my husband and his dad are both hunters, and they had this year. I guess we have a higher number of venison running around. So I think they each had 5 tags.
Oh,
for
no. See,
deer.
Here, I don't know what it is in Texas, but in Pennsylvania, when I lived in Pennsylvania, you were allowed 1 buck a year, and on good years you might get 1 buck and a doe tag.
No, we have 4 doe tags and 3 bucks.
Yeah,
so,
there was a lottery some years. If they estimated there were too many does, that you might get an extra doe tag. But yeah, you're allowed 1 buck and 1 doe a year, pretty much every year. That's all you're allowed.
So we got the 15 that we were allowed for the year. Actually, I think we might have 2.
I think in Texas you can get 1 a day.
1 a day. Oh my God. So. That was one of the things I saw in Texas that was ridiculous. We were driving on a highway, all cars going all ways. I saw the biggest deer I have ever seen in my life running across the highway and jumping over a fence. I mean, so high. I mean, obviously, they built this fence to keep them out of the highway. This damn thing didn't care. He just ran across that road and jumped like a 7-foot fence. Like it was just like it was just a block of wood on the ground.
Everything in Texas is bigger. I always
and the gas station. I went to that Buc-ee's gas station.
Oh, Buc-ee's is legendary.
That was hysterical. It was like a racetrack. It was like cars were just running across.
Yeah, there's like 40 or 50 gas pumps. They have a store that's like huge. They sell everything there. They have the best beef jerky on the planet there at Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we got some beef jerky while we were there. I was like, oh my God, this is like I don't know what to call it. But you know what? I did take advantage.
There is a chain in the Northeast though that is called Sheetz. That is.
we have Sheetz here. It's not the same at all.
No. But where I used to live in Pennsylvania is where their corporate headquarters are, and they have like a next level Sheetz. There's a couple of them. They're like super Sheetz, and they have like brick oven style pizza. They have gourmet type food there. It's kind of wild.
I mean, we have pizzas right next to my job where I'm supposed to be physically located before this COVID thing took me
2 years ago or whatever. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I haven't been back to the office since, and I hope not to have to go back, even though they are going back in January. We're scheduled to be back in January,
but don't hold your breath.
My department was deemed to be what's called hybrid. Yeah. So I think we all just get to rotate a week, and at some point we have to go in there and clear out our desks so that we only have one desk that we all share, so they can't make us all come in at the same time. We have a plan.
I think a lot of companies have learned how expensive having actual brick and mortar facilities when they don't necessarily have to. I think a lot of companies are going to go to remote businesses.
I know that it's difficult for us because we are actually a financial institution, and we do have to. There are some security issues with us being off site, but my department in specific isn't one of those departments that has to be in a ultra secure location.
Yeah.
So my department might be spared from, and the call center is also another thing. Anybody who doesn't have a lot of client contact isn't as essential to be on site.
I just cleaned my leaky atomizer. It was driving me crazy.
I can't.
No, I know
my
AT&T.
juice is not tasting good.
Well, mine is tasting good because it's my own recipe.
Yeah, mine is too, but something happened. I might have put. It's kind of weird right now.
Yeah. This is like the the billet box rebuildable, but there's a little foam pad that you're supposed to put in there. They understand that it's gonna condense a little bit, so they've built a little thing where you're supposed to put a little cotton in there to collect. Once it saturates, though, it has nowhere to go but out.
Well, I do thank you for being online. There's a lot of people that could use the interaction. You know what I mean?
Well, here's the thing, and I said this to Sean. I said, hey, look, we talk about the vaping stuff all the time. And that's all we talk about. We don't really know each other that much. I mean, you and I know each other a little bit because we've talked offline, or not offline, but not on the show. Yeah. And, but, giving people the opportunity to come in and talk and just, hey, this is who I am. And vaping is just a part of what I do. That's
right.
That's, if we're one side, there's humans have more than one part of their personality. What we do is just a part of what we do. So it's nice to, shoot the breeze and talk about something other than, and obviously I had these crazy videos that I wanted to show people about how stupid.
That was
There's
so
one
weird.
more.
The cat
There's actually
thing.
one more.
Let's watch it.
You want to watch it with me?
Yeah.
There's one more. This one, I don't know.
I want to commentate on it.
Yeah, we're going to commentate on it. So this one is again
this is
another.
an awkward position that I'm in, but sorry guys, I'm on my phone.
It doesn't matter. It's your voice that matters. So yeah, this next one is another plain. This is more plain hijinks, but it's about COVID, and it's about us showing the world the worst part of ourselves.
My life in danger. Okay, so you're gonna move him. That's how it's gonna be.
So this is a woman who's on a plane, and they're trying to seat her next to a guy who does not have his vaccine.
Understand. Then move him. Ma'am, this is a full flight. I can't move anyone. Do you want me to call cops? Do you want to lose your job? Do you? Because right now you're violating my rights as a citizen, as a human being. You're intentionally putting me in danger. I do not wish anyone.
So she's having the what's the word I want to call this? A mortal fear of mortal danger, because the guy that they're sitting her next to doesn't have his jab.
My sister is one of those people.
So
I hope she doesn't never watch this.
Let's understand that we're just humans, and we may not all agree on everything. Sure, there are people that don't want to get the shot, and that's their right. Here's the science on jabs. If you want to have the science on jabs, if you don't believe it, that's up to you. I've gotten 2 of my jabs. I need to get a third one. If I get a moment, I will go get it. I'm not afraid of a needle. I'm not afraid of having a shot. It's not going to do anything to you other than possibly make the virus less effective in your body.
I've had
that's
2.
what a vaccine does.
I've had my 2, but I don't think I'm going to get the third one. But I mean, that's my choice, right?
Yeah. I mean, the jabs, people have forgotten a vaccine does not make you immune. Nothing is going to make you immune. I actually know people, because it's kind of commonly understood that if you have the chicken pox, you can't get it again. I know people that have, I know one person that has had the chicken pox twice. Not chicken pox and chicken pox like thing, like the full blown chicken pox twice, because the first case wasn't mild or wasn't severe. but they had
Right.
chickenpox. So
I
the
had a very
vaccine.
mild case as a kid too, so I might one day come
Well,
across
and
it again.
here's the other thing: is once you've had the chickenpox, you are
You
you're
have the
carrying
virus in you.
around. You're carrying it around in you, and it can come back as shingles as you get older. Just saying. But let's continue with this crazy woman.
Thank you, then move him, ma'am. This is the full flight. I can't move him. I don't want to sit there. Do you want me to call the cops? Because I will. I'll call them right now. We can't move people because they don't want to sit next to them. He's violating our rights and our safety. I asked him for his vaccine card, and he doesn't have one because he's not vaccinated.
So this is where we are in society. I mean, are you afraid of people that haven't been vaccinated, Jennifer?
No, I'm not. I'm vaccinated.
Are you going to?
So I feel.
Are you going to call the cops if they come near you?
No, I feel like I'm vaccinated and I've got both my shots. So if for some reason I come in contact with somebody that has COVID that hasn't had the shot and I get it, I've still protected enough from severe illness and death that I feel comfortable not shunning anybody. You know what I mean? And that's the whole reason I got vaccinated, so that I could be around people again.
This is a woman I mean, they're basically she's actually othering this guy. I mean, this is what this is now. She's saying you can't be part of our society because you have an opinion that I don't agree with. This is just like so much other stuff. Like this. You
can't do that. You have to have a mask and be vaccinated. You're not exactly wearing a mask. I'm not wearing a mask because I have asthma.
Oh, she's not. You have to.
She's not wearing a mask because she's fully vaccinated. Well, that's not how it works.
The rules apply to thee and not to me. I mean, right. She just regurgitated the mask thing. You have to wear the mask and you have to get a shot. I don't have to wear one because I have asthma.
I have a health condition. I have children. I'm fully vaccinated to protect them. You're intentionally putting my health at risk right now. If you wish to be on this flight, I need you to take a seat. Okay, that is a seat you paid for, and it's the only one available. I know the.
And this flight attendant is so calm, like she's trying to use her soothing voice. Ma'am, if you want to fly on this plane, that's the seat that you paid for. And there's no, I can't move you. This is. And this woman's like, I know that.
These are the rules.
Yeah.
Law. You're violating the law right now. You're completely breaking the law. You have to find me another seat. It's not the law to be vaccinated to come on this plane. You can't make me breathe his oxygen because he's not vaccinated. You're not listening to me. If you wish to be on this flight, I need you to take your seat. I'm not sitting there. You're putting my life in danger right now. I cannot be made to breathe his oxygen. That's not fair. This is the seat you've paid for. Do you want me to see my children? Yes, you're putting them at risk now. One available. I don't want to sit there.
So if this was a fat guy, so in other world, or that person wears a cologne that you don't like. I mean, I have seen similar, not quite as aggressive as this, but people asking to be moved because they're sitting next to the fat guy or they're next to the super strong perfume.
Or somebody with body odor.
Yeah. But this woman is so the fear campaign has so indoctrinated people. Like the tone of her voice is, I'm going to die if you make me sit next to this person.
Right. And I have a family member that is just like that. I mean, just like that. I don't know how they got that way because they were not that way before, but they're just like that. And yes, just yesterday, that person called me to ask me if I had gotten the booster shot. And I said, I don't think I'm getting the booster shot. I think I'm protected now enough. Plus, I had antibodies before I got the shot because we had tested for them. So I've been exposed at some point, or I wouldn't have had antibodies for it before I got my shots, you know?
Well, I mean, to be fair, I mean, the evidence is showing that the antibodies don't last for very long. And
I get it.
You know,
I get all
the
that.
shot. My second shot like I got my first shot in December of last year and my second shot in January of last year. So I'm almost a full year out of my vaccination. So
I just got mine in August.
So yeah, you might still have something. But yeah,
Actually, it
I'm
wasn't even
almost
August. I think it was
positive
October.
that I probably am going to go ahead and get the shot. I mean, I am going to get the shot, but I'm just too lazy to go out of my way to get it.
Well, I mean,
and I do work around senior citizens.
Huh?
And I do work around senior citizens.
Yeah, I don't. I work at home. So my entire family has had COVID.
Now,
Every
your dog
single
could
one
give you
of them.
COVID. Your dog, your
Yeah,
dog could go out and pee and pick it up and bring it in and give it to you.
Oh, I get it. My daughter's had it. My son's had it. Everybody, all my sisters have had it. The only people that haven't had it are me, my husband, and my mother, and the one sister who is hypervigilant. Anyhow, I told her I don't think I was going to get it. You know, Omicron. I'm not. It's a lot faster transmitting, but it doesn't seem to be as deadly, right?
As aggressive,
at this time.
Yeah. I mean, here in Corpus in the last since Christmas, I've been following the cases and the hospitalizations again because we were down to like 30 people in the hospital before Christmas, and then the day after Christmas, they had in one day we had 151 positive cases and 30 people admitted to the hospital in one day.
Right.
And the
I see that here too.
The hospitalization number is the one I'm most keen on. The positive cases don't really mean anything. It's the number of people that are actually sick enough to be in the hospital. And since Christmas Eve, Christmas Day or Christmas Eve, I can't remember which day I looked at the cases and the hospitalizations again. We've gotten almost 100 hospitalizations,
right.
Which is
it's a lot
more than what we can handle. I mean, we're not a very big city here, but it is going
right.
up.
And I don't live in a big city as well. I don't live in a big city either. But anyhow, when I told her that, she says, "Oh my God, I hope I don't get it." I said, I think that at some point everybody will eventually. It's not going anywhere. It's not leaving.
No,
this
it's not going to go anywhere. My wife had it and had a fever and a little cough, like 2 months ago, something like that. And she had it for days and days before we even. And I never tested. I mean, obviously, after she tested positive, I had to sleep on the couch. But the first couple of days that she had it, I slept in the same room and didn't get it.
And I think that's why I had antibodies.
I didn't have it.
I think that's how I ended up with antibodies and not COVID. At some point, I think my husband had it early before it was ever a thing, or before it was so widely known. He had all the symptoms that they described that COVID had. And we slept in the same bed. I didn't have any symptoms. And when we tested for antibodies, we both had antibodies, but neither one of us remembered ever having COVID, other than him getting what we thought was a flu. So I told my sister, she says, "Well, pray for me. I hope I never get it." And I said, "I'll pray for you because your nerves are going to kill you if COVID doesn't."
You're gonna have a stroke. You're gonna have a stroke. Let's finish.
Your nerves will kill you.
Let's finish this vaccine.
Not vaccinated. You're intentionally putting my life in danger. Ma'am, we are not putting your life in danger. I'm not going to sit there. Ma'am, can you take a seat, please? No, I'm not sitting there. How many times do I have to say this?
All right, the pilot had to come out. Like, this is how
That's
pilot had
pretty
to come
serious.
out. And this guy's a superhero. This pilot is a superhero.
I know how challenging air travel is these days. But there will be no discrimination on my aircraft.
It's not discrimination.
Vaccinated or unvaccinated, we should respect each other.
Yes.
And as it seems, you have trouble doing that, please exit the aircraft.
That guy's a superhero.
Can you imagine if he had said exit the airplane while it was flying?
Here, and there's no shoot. Just get the fuck off my plane. But yeah, like he's like, we're not going to discriminate. Get off the plane. Yeah, that was yes, and it did have emotional music added to the end to make it into a sweeps week emotional episode of Get Off My Plane.
Get off my plane.
Yeah.
And
This,
did she have kids? She kept saying something about children.
Not on the plane with her, but she said, I have kids at home, and you're putting their life in danger by making me sit next to this guy that doesn't have a vaccine passport because he hasn't been vaccinated. I mean,
well, that's another thing. I mean,
you're agreeing to cohabitate on a plane for 5 hours, when you buy your ticket. I mean, if you didn't believe, I mean, I've known this for years, even before there was a COVID, that you're breathing recycled air on a plane. I stopped doing like vaping conventions specifically because every time there was a vaping convention, people, not me, I never got it, but the convention crud, like everybody would.
I remember I had the convention crud.
Everybody would go home after a vape event and complain for like 4 or 5 days on the internet about how sick they were from hugging everybody and shaking hands. I don't do the huggy thing, by the way. I'm not a hugger, but
I'm a big hugger.
And they always made fun of me because every time I would shake somebody's hand, I would pull out the Purell, and I'm like, it's a real thing. Like, have you never seen like all these vapey people go home the next day or a couple days after the event and be like, I haven't been able to get out of bed for 2 days because I've been so sick. Blah, blah, blah.
I always blamed it on how foggy the whole place was,
Well, I mean, obviously, that's the other thing that people. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's good, and people, not even back then. Ian says people shared vapes back then too. I mean, I've been to events, well, not in the last 2 years, but recent as you can put on the vape convention timeline, where people were putting their lips on other people's vape mods. Oh, let me taste your
all day long.
Yeah, no, I ain't doing that shit. Nobody.
I did that. I did that a lot. I did that a lot back in the day.
This is my new DIY strawberry for my husband who only vapes strawberry. It's got 15 different strawberries in it.
You know what I started doing was carrying around an extra drip tip in my pocketbook back then. And I would let people taste it with that drip tip and then put it back in my pocketbook. So they were using the same.
They were using everybody else's germs, but you weren't. You had sequestered your own germs from their germs.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you're already agreeing to share space in a metal container that has a limited air in it already. You're sort of already agreeing to sharing the germs of everybody else that's on the plane.
And another thing, how about let's take this into consideration. What if that man left his vaccine card at home? I personally have no idea where my vaccine card is.
Oh, mine's in my glove box. Idea. I have to keep it with me, obviously, because one of our facilities that I see, one of the facilities that I treat patients in, has now instituted a vaccine card requirement before you can enter the building.
My place of where I work, we are supposed to, they want us to state our vaccination status, right?
Yeah.
And if you're not vaccinated, you must wear a mask inside the building at all times.
Yeah.
If you are vaccinated, you only wear a mask if you're going to the bathroom in one of the common areas. But if you're in your office, you don't have to wear one. I personally, how this is my choice, and it's my own personal choice. So I'm vaccinated, but I am choosing not to participate in the vaccine status update. So I'm not telling them at work. That's not something I want to do. It's if they want to make sure I stay home, I'm going to have to wear a mask anyhow, especially with this new variant. Everybody's, and they just did it. That's the reason I didn't do it, right? Because they were trying to tout out that you won't have to wear a mask if you're vaccinated. And I was thinking, well, if something else comes up, they're going to make you mask up anyhow. So they're making everybody mask up anyhow. So what's the point? Why do they need to know whether I'm vaccinated or not? For what?
I like the mask, to tell you the truth, because that covers up everybody's ugly faces, and it prevents you from seeing the facial expression that I'm making at you when you say something stupid.
Oh,
and I'm surrounded by stupid people, and that way, they only get, this much. They can only see the eyes. They can't see the face that I'm making.
Yeah, unfortunately, usually this is my face.
Well, my eyes
usually
are very
my
expressive,
eyes that
right?
you could tell it.
Yeah, but if I'm
Yeah, my eyes are very expressive.
Yeah. So yeah, but the same people that are, the very far right wing people that are bitching about the masks are the same people that 2 years ago, 3 years ago were complaining that the NSA had facial recognition software and they now you can hide your face and the NSA can't track you.
That's true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah, the alien overlords can't see you now. Oh,
Yeah.
but there's the
Well,
microchip there's the microchip that's in the vaccine. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I heard about that too.
The 5G.
I don't care, whatever. I just did what was right for me, but I also, don't. This woman could have been saying the same thing about me because I wouldn't have had a vaccine card. However, I am vaccinated. Who is she to tell me whether I'm vaccinated or not? You know what I mean? How does she know what I did?
Yeah. Now the other the other thing that she said in that's a HIPAA violation.
That's not a HIPAA violation.
That HIPAA only covers healthcare providers. That is what HIPAA does. It is their way of protecting your private information from being shared. So there's obviously there's prohibitions on me talking about patients in places where somebody can overhear it. There's laws and regulations about how that information can be transmitted electronically and on paper, hard copy, that have to be followed. HIPAA does not prevent Walmart from asking you whether you've gotten a vaccine or not.
Right. But you as a human, as an American, have a right to not share your information.
You can say no, and then they have every right to say, well, you can't come into our store because this is our private property. This is not public property.
That's exactly right.
Private property. So, the same argument that we make about restaurants or bars allowing vaping, because I've been saying this for years, it should be up to the bar owner.
To the business owner, that's right.
Yeah. Or it's if I say people can vape in my house, this is my house. I can make that rule. The government has no right to tell me what I can do on my property. It's the same thing with the people that own airplanes and the people that own Walmarts and stuff. If they
have the same right
to require you to prove that you've gotten a jab, that's their right. You can take your money elsewhere.
That's right. You can go do business with somebody who doesn't require that of you. But
I'm sitting here
have that right.
I'm sitting here complaining about Facebook, like gatekeeping comments on my show, but it's their fucking platform. They have the right to do that. And you know what? If they do that, I'm just going to take my stream somewhere else, which we're working on doing. Because I don't like the fact that they're so blatantly. I mean, I could understand if somebody said, I'm going to kill all the people of this group, whatever that group is. If people made some sort of racial epithet on our show or in the chat room, I could understand that. That's BS, and I don't agree with that. But somebody saying good night to Leanna, that got blocked. That got reported as a going against the community standards BS, and there was over 300
that was just somebody
comments.
Really, honestly, it's just somebody that reports your stream, from what I understand, just from YouTube standards. Somebody, if you get enough reports, so all you need is a couple of trolls on your Facebook that will go in there and report stuff, and then Facebook just blocks it and they investigate later only if you request it. But their algorithm just will automatically block it because obviously it must be true since 2 or 3 people reported it.
So you're saying a human made that happen?
Yes.
Huh. I just figured it was some sort of weird bot. So you're saying that
And it could be a bot. It could be a bot that a human put in place to watch your show and then report several times the content. And then they'll just
what's his name? One of the guys on the show got a 24-hour block on his Facebook because of comments on my show.
Yeah, well, that's somebody that targeted you. That targeted your show, targeted the people that were in your comment box.
Wow, we're so big that we're getting people to target us.
Well, it might just be the words that you used for that show. And if they have a bot set up to find those words, it just activates.
Interesting.
Go back and look and see what the name of that show was or what you called it.
Well,
Go
it was
see
like 3
what
shows. It was like 3 shows in a row, and they were all different. I'll have to look. I have to look at it. Yeah, that seems odd. It seems odd to me. Did you see my new T-shirts?
Jennifer? I did. I saw them in the beginning of the show. I've been here since you opened up the show this morning. I've just been working, plucking along the day.
You should get yourself the nicotine nerd T-shirt.
I have the pirate one, and I'll be honest with you. I don't know if it's because of my boobs or the way it's shaped, but it doesn't sit right on my chest.
Did you get the girly one or the boy one?
No, I got the girly one, but I'm thinking about getting the V-cut one because that might have been the issue.
Yeah. Boobs. I don't have. Well, I do have man boobs, but you know.
Well, it made the shirt short on me. My boobs raised it a little too much. So I got like the belly roll showing.
Yeah, that could be. That could just be the girl cut. I noticed that the girl cuts are more slim fit.
Yeah, and I'm a chunky girl, you know.
I would never say that. That would be inappropriate, ma'am. That would be.
That's
rude.
the truth.
That would be
It's the
rude.
truth. I'm proud of it. I'm not fat because I eat unhealthy. I'm fat because I love food.
So this one is the V-cut girly pink shirt, and obviously the graphic had to sit lower. So if this was this would be more pronounced then, because that would be right where you're. Yeah, that would be more pronounced, that graphic. Yeah.
Do you know what I would love to see on your shirt is more of the wording on the back of the shirt instead of on the front.
Somebody said that, and I actually did do. Andrew demanded that I make a V-neck shirt, and he wanted the Son of Liberty Radio logo on the back. So
I do like back logos better than I do front logos because I want them to see me when I'm in front, but when I'm walking away, I want them to read and keep looking.
Well, you know, if you so this is the V-neck T-shirt with the logo on the back.
I like that. I like that a lot.
It would be cool if there was a pocket. I like pocket T-shirts.
I don't care for no pockets.
Well, but that would just make you lopsided because one T-shirt, one boob would have a pocket and one wouldn't. That would be unfair.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't like pockets.
Oh well. So I saw you comment in the chat room that you stopped your YouTube channel.
I did. Vixen Vixens is no more. We stopped. We called it a day. 3 years was enough. We had lost a lot of viewership. We were shadow banned. We weren't getting any new recommendations. It was just became more of a. We were doing it for ourselves more than anything else. So it was just that
now you
time.
can just get in a hangout and chit chat about mixing on your own.
I'm not doing my own stuff like that. What I do now is I'll go on Noted every once in a while, which that's on a Monday night show. I'll go in as a guest. I don't have to worry about. I'm not tied to every single Sunday, you know, being home, or if I'm out of town having to log in at somebody else's internet. You know, beach days, I could only go Friday and Saturday and had to be home by 5 o'clock on Sundays. So that's no longer a thing. Now I just go and I guest. I'm a guest on everybody's show. They'll text me and they'll be like, "Hey, you want to come on? We're going live." And I'll be like, "Sure." And I'll go on in, but I'm not tied to it. And, you know, DIY has become something else. And it's hard to recommend things when, you know, nicotine is not easily accessible. I'll help with recipes here and there, but I'm not mixing commercially anymore. And little by little, it just started to trickle away. And I guess I'm enjoying a little bit of my freedom right now. My freedom from being that.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I understand. I still have nicotine is going to be crap for me in about 5 years. I'm gonna have trouble.
Well, hopefully by then we'll have enough. We'll have TSN, and I mean they're already
I
selling
don't like
TSN.
I don't like it.
It is TSN.
There's no.
I haven't tried it.
There's no throat hit.
There's none.
It's too clean. It's too smooth. I mean, it's lovely on the flavor. Like, these are, the 5 Ponds ones that they came out with tobacco-free nicotine. I've already vaped all of the Plume Room one. But it's so gentle. I
mean, that's the only way to put it.
I said, you gotta, there's the 5 Ponds one. Yeah. They're so gentle that I don't get that harshness. And I want that,
I wonder if it changes the taste.
No, it's actually cleaner on the flavor. I mean, that nicotine.
I understand that, but
no,
I understand what you're saying, but nicotine in itself has a flavor.
Yeah.
Okay, and when I vape nicotine less, zero nicotine e-liquid, it is flat.
Yes.
So I'm wondering if with tobacco-free nicotine, it has that same flat feel to it.
No, I think it's as flavorless as I think. I mean, that's one of the points, is that it's so clean. But the problem is that I said to Jay, I said, you need to dirty this up a little bit so that I have a little bit of a throat hit on this, because it's too delicate, it's too gentle, and it doesn't have that. It
but
satisfies.
Does it make the flavor flat?
No, I mean, the flavors are. I have this same liquid from the Plume Room with regular traditional freebase nicotine in it, and it doesn't taste substantial. The taste is cleaner here, like it's more crisp, I guess is the way to say it, than that. It doesn't have that oomph, though. I mean, I don't find that I'm vaping more when I vape that. It gives me the nicotine that I need, but it's not nearly as, visceral. It doesn't do the thing for me that I want, in addition to what it's providing. So
I'm probably gonna order some. I'm probably gonna order at least a 30 mil, 120 mil of tobacco-free nicotine just to taste it, because I like the taste of freebase nicotine.
I do too. That's why I have a gallon of 250 milligram nicotine right there. But that's only going to last like 5 years, and I'm going to be out.
I have 15 years worth by my calculations.
Yeah. Let's see. We don't have any experience and knowledge to find out whether or not it will last that long. That's the, scientifically.
Well, supposedly, it loses about 1 milligram a year.
If it's not frozen, or it actually won't freeze if it's not kept in a freezer.
Well, mine is in a deep freezer.
Yeah, mine's in a deep freeze too, but.
And I bought an alarm for that deep freezer, so that if it ever drops below.
Yeah, mine is.
Well, it sends a text message to my phone.
7 degrees is what my current thermometer says. Mine has a thermometer on the outside of it. It is currently at 7 degrees.
Nice.
So, I in my head, for some reason, I had it in my head that it would ultimately freeze, like solid. It won't. Yeah, I was like, oh, and somebody's like, "You're dummy. It's not gonna freeze." Like, oh,
it won't freeze, but it gets pretty thick.
Yeah. Obviously, if you're freezing your nicotine, you're gonna have to take it out of the freezer a day in advance before you start mixing with it.
Did you at least bottle it in smaller containers?
Yeah.
Okay, good job.
I'm not stupid.
With electrical tape around the top, right?
Yes.
Okay, just checking.
I'm not stupid.
Well, I didn't say you were, but you thought it would freeze. So, I mean.
Well, that's true. I did say that. I shouldn't have admitted to that.
It won't freeze. It can freeze, but it has to be a lot lower temperature than that.
Yeah. Mm.
And it won't freeze solid. It freezes like a slushy kind of.
Yeah. But yeah, it was nice. I guess I've been here 3.5 hours. I was only going to do an hour show. So I guess everybody want to wish everybody, you included, Jennifer, a great New Year's. I showed you videos of the worst of humanity in the last year. Take the time to reflect on your actions of 2021 if you are part of the problem, and make the resolution to be a better human this year.
Be kind to yourself and be kind to others.
Excellent. Be excellent to each other. Isn't that Bill and Ted? Isn't that their thing? Be excellent to each other. We have to do more at, I don't know, just do more at being better. Obviously we have our battles ahead of us with this vaping thing that we sort of talked around today, but we're going to talk about vaping next Friday. Back to our regular shtick. Kevin will be here. He's still at the grocery store, I think. I got a text message. He tweeted a little while ago that he's still at the grocery store and that I'm still broadcasting. Just do the things that you want to do to be happy, but also make sure that your happiness is not hurting other people. You might feel good. You might be happy about dunking on somebody on Twitter for being stupid. We do it all the time. I do it all the time. But just remember that we have to be civil to each other. We have to continue to progress as a society. If we're reverting back to this feral nonsense that I showed you today on Twitter,
we all have to share this third rock from the sun. Let's do it as neighbors, and not as adversaries.
I mean, if that video of the police escorting that little kid out of a fucking restaurant because he didn't have a vaccine passport doesn't move you, if that woman nursemaiding a stuffed cat on an airplane, breastfeeding a stuffed cat on an airplane doesn't make you question where we are as humans. If that woman that woman flipping out on an old man because he's eating on the plane and has his mask off, how dare he? If that doesn't show you that we've drifted away from where we should be, I don't know what will. But anyway, we'll be back next Friday night. Same normal time, not the morning time. I'll be at work at this time next Friday. And I'm sure
take a poll. Should I color my hair brown again?
No, I like it. Yeah, before we leave, everybody put a 1 in the chat room if Jennifer's hair is lovely and should stay as it is. 2 in the chat room if she should dye it green, and 3 in the chat room if she should go back to brown. 4 if you think she should shave her head.
No 4. That's not happening anyhow, so might as well not waste the number. I've gone as short as I can go.
Nobody's participating. Oh, Janine says leave it as is.
Thank you, Janine.
That it is lovely. Gray is good. She wants to use the term silver.
It is white, actually. Or silver. It is silver.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with white. Mallory says bunches of ones. Ian voted 1100.
1100. I wonder what that is.
I'll have to make a list and see what 1100 is when I get there. So nobody voted for. I was kind of hoping that there would be somebody that voted for, but don't you dare change it, Mallory says. So I guess you've made the right life decisions for your hair. People have spoken. Good. The viewers have spoken. So anyway, yeah, we'll be back next Friday. Kevin will be here. Maybe by then he'll be done shopping. Bruni says, great. Just woke up to say good night to everyone. Well, it's not even good night now. It's morning here. It's lunchtime. Enjoy yourself tonight. Do your bring in the new year with joy. Start out with positivity. If you've made resolutions to stop doing something that you shouldn't do, or to do something good that you haven't been doing, stick to it, and we'll see you in 7 days. 7 days. Bye, Jennifer.
Bye, guys.
Be good.
Much love.
Here,
Happy New Year.
We'll end the show with Midge Zeller.
If we look at a subset of smokers who are otherwise unable or unwilling to quit, they're going to continue to smoke that pack of cigarettes. Half of them will die prematurely later in life from that decision. If we could get all of those people to completely switch all of their cigarettes for one of these non-combustible products, that would be good for public health.